Brock looking to throw. Goes over the middle. It is knocked away. William Chen there on the big hit to cause the incompletion. It'll be 4th down.
What a statement by Gunter on the first play. Great read by Rinda. He saw the safety rotate. He knew he motioned out Gunter. He got behind the defense. Incredible play, pitch and catch by Rinda and Gunter, and he just takes it to the house, shows his speed.
Goes 68 yards. Rinda will throw on 2nd down. Going to take another shot down the right sideline, looking for Boyd. He dives and he pulls it in for the touchdown. What a catch by Brock Boyd. It's an experienced line. It's an experienced running back. 2nd and goal from the 4. Brock will throw again. At the corner of the end zone, throws it up for Hoke as we are under 6 minutes till halftime. They give it to Davis Penn, running up the middle, a surge into the end zone. Welcome back, Davis Penn. Touchdown, Dragons. 35-7, Carroll to score with a minute to go before halftime. And the kickoff will be brought out of the end zone by the Hawks and knocked down shy of the 15-yard line.
The Dragons stayed focused to beat the Hawks on a stormy night. This week, the team travels to Justin to face the Bobcats.
Hey Dragon fans, welcome to the Dragon Football Night pregame show sponsored by Clayton and Clayton Real Estate. Now here are your hosts, Chris Blake and Robert Clayton.
From Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin, it's the Carroll Dragons against the Byron Nelson Bobcats. Our broadcast tonight presented by White's Chapel Methodist Church. Hi there and welcome into the Clayton and Clayton Real Estate pregame show. I'm Chris Blake with Robert Clayton, our director Tim Polster, and statistician Monty Clegg. After back-to-back weeks with kickoffs delayed by lightning, we appear to have a 7 o'clock kickoff ready to go today. In fact, last week's 35-7 win over Hebron was both delayed and shortened by the weather. The game also marked the end of non-district play. In a 9-team district, everyone plays 8 district games, so Carroll's 4-6A schedule starts tonight. And Robert, it's the beginning of a journey to the first thing the Dragons set out to accomplish each year.
You know, with no rain in sight, Chris, the road to the district championship begins tonight. For Carroll, every season starts with 3 goals. Tonight, the first goal in mind, take care of district play, and this is your first game, opening district. After dominant wins over Hebron and Midland on both sides of the ball, this could be something special.
And that road to the district title begins tonight in the place Carroll last lost in regular season play, 34-17 in October 2023. The only time in Riley Dodge's tenure the Dragons have not won district. And talking to Coach Dodge earlier this week, he says they're not shying away from the fact that this is the site of their last district loss.
Yeah, I think the loss lingers a bit. Not so much as a burden, but as motivation. Going back to October 23, a 34-17 defeat here, it's the only loss of really the district loss of the Riley Dodge era. That's not the long-run dominance in 4-6A and ultimately cost Carroll the district crown. This team knows exactly what is at stake. They've circled this game, and it's not just a district opener, but it's a statement opportunity. Getting
a look at some of the Dragons in attendance already. The Emerald Bells ready to take the field. The Dragon Band in the stands. In the sun-splashed east side of the stadium. And tonight, Robert, Carroll takes on a Byron Nelson team, which is impossible to talk about without mentioning the loss of head coach Travis Pride. He passed away in May and was the head coach at Byron Nelson for 9 seasons, was also an assistant on the Carroll staff in the early 2000s when Riley Dodge was a player. We'll hear Coach Dodge's thoughts on Coach Pride coming up in our pregame conversation. But, Robert, what did Coach Pride mean to the football community in this part of the state?
Well, I think he was just more than a coach. Like you mentioned, he coached at Carroll, but he was a pillar of this trophy club community, a mentor to a lot of countless young men at Byron Nelson. Coach Woodard mentioned Coach Pride was everyone's best friend. His impact went far beyond the X's and O's. He helped shape character, build leaders, and really left a lasting impression on this program. This season, Byron Nelson isn't just playing for wins, Chris. They're playing to honor Coach Pride's memory and everything he stood for. That kind of motivation can be a powerful force on the field.
Well, still to come on the Clayton and Clayton Real Estate pregame show, we'll hear from Carroll head coach Riley Dodge and take a look around the district. But first, let's highlight some of the players who had big nights last week. That's coming up next on the Dragon Sports Network.
The Dragon Den is your home for the best selection of Dragon fan gear in town. We offer many styles and sizes, and we're your Dragon Hat headquarters. 100% of your purchase supports our student athletes in UIL sports grades 7 through 12. We're open weekly during all home football games and most Tuesdays and Fridays 11 to 2. We're everything Dragon. Interested in volunteering with us? We need adult and high school volunteers to work during hours we are open. That's the Dragon Den at Dragon Stadium. Go Dragons!
Hey Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, recharge with red light therapy, and fuel your body with our powerful slim shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Hello, Dragon fans. Julie Walter here from the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title, located right here in Southlake. It's Dragon football season, and as a mother of 4 former Dragons, I truly know how busy our fall schedules can get. At the Baker Firm, we provide great customer service with our knowledgeable escrow team, and we pride ourselves with a boutique-style title office that will close our customers anywhere in the DFW area. So, as you get ready to sell, buy, or refinance your home, be sure to tell your local agent or lender you want to close with the Baker Firm, and you are sure to score a touchdown.
Hey Dragon fans, this is Robert Clayton with the Clayton team at Clayton Real Estate. Karen Young and I have been proudly serving Southlake for over 30 years in residential resale, family owned and operated, and former Dragons. Being a Dragon graduate, we truly understand what it means to be a Dragon. Tradition, excellence, and a winning team. That's what we provide our clients, the best service and experience in the industry with a winning tradition. Dragons representing Dragons. Call us today at 817-894-4152 or visit us on the web at www.dragonrealtors.com. Go Dragons!
Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. We continue on the Clayton and Clayton Real Estate pregame show. Chris Blake along with Robert Clayton as we get set for the first 4-6A matchup of the year for the Dragons. And let's highlight a couple of guys coming off big starts to the season. On offense, Carroll has a plus 77 point differential through the first 2 games. That's second among Area 6A teams behind North Forney. That's also with 6 quarters of play, not even a full game last week for the Dragons, and the Carroll offense racked up 349 yards through the air last week. Blake Gunter was a big part of that attack, leading the way with 134 receiving yards. So Robert, on a team with a guy in Brott Boyd going to Ohio State, a guy in Brody Knowles who's got a bunch of offers at 6'5" on the outside, how has Gunter been getting it done?
Well, I think when you're loaded with blue chip talent on the receiver end, Chris, you know, what Blake brings to the game is just his relentless ability to make plays after the catch. We saw that last week. He's just a terrific player. You know, he goes to the whistle, he makes plays, and he creates it. And I think that's one of the biggest things that Coach Dawes loves about Blake Gunter, that not only will he make the catch, but he'll get down there and get dirty and make the blocks. And Chris, he's the best ping pong player on the Carroll team, according to Blake. So he's multi-talented here.
He might have a biased opinion on that topic. But on the defensive side, the line has wreaked havoc on opposing offensive lines the first 2 weeks of the season. We talked about Marcus Browse last week, and we probably could have done this guy last week too, but Crawford Taylor has just lived in the backfield the first 2 weeks.
Absolutely. You know, Crawford Taylor has been a nightmare for opposing offensive line. You know, his first step is incredible, combined with his relentless motor has made him disruptive, you know, week after week. You know, I think, you know, his presence in the backfield, you know, changes the dynamic on offenses from week to week. You know, just hurrying throws, disrupting plays. He's been a crucial part of this Carroll defense. The reason why they've been so tough and so good early on.
A couple of guys who stood out last week, and we will see who shines for the Dragons tonight in their first district game on the road at Byron Nelson this evening. But coming up next on the Clayton & Clayton Real Estate pregame show, we'll hear from Dragons head coach Riley Dodge as we count you down to kickoff on the Dragons Sports Network.
Looking for a roofer who truly knows Southlake? My name is Chad Cross, owner of CLC Roofing, a longtime Southlake resident who's proud to serve this community. For decades, we have protected Dragon Country with roofs built to handle the scorching sun, sudden hail, and high winds, all while keeping your homes looking beautiful. CLC Roofing proudly supports the Carroll ISD, the Carroll Booster Club, and local events. Supporting Southlake is part of who we are. We know every HOA standard, city code, and neighborhood nuance because we live here too. When the storm hits, we're not hours away. We're already in your community, ready to help the moment you need us. Our crews are safety certified and led by project managers who always focus on details. From minor repairs to full replacements, we bring expert craftsmanship and clear communication to every project. We only install top-tier roofing materials, and as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, we can offer extended warranties most roofers cannot, because trust and quality go hand in hand. Protect the tradition, Southlake.
Southlake Dermatology offers specialized acne regimens using a combination of prescriptions and procedures that are covered by insurance. The Specialized Acne Treatment Center offers a full range of services with access to samples and rebates that are only available through a dermatologist. Our office is on the 3rd floor of the Southlake Medical Building attached to Methodist Hospital off of 114. Find us on Facebook or search our website at southlakedermatology.com.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Come check out Champions Club at the Mark Southlake. Conveniently located off Southlake Boulevard in Bicentennial Park, Champions Club is your local, safe, and fun destination for fitness, play, and connection. From state-of-the-art workout spaces and exciting group fitness classes to our aquatic center, indoor courts, and party rentals, there's something for everyone. Make Champions Club your home for health, recreation, and family fun. Join today and discover what it means to live like a champion. Go Dragons!
We continue on the Clayton & Clayton Real Estate pregame show as Carroll gets set to visit Byron Nelson in the first district game of the season. Chris Blake with Dragons head coach Riley Dodge. And coach, let's start with the weather. 2 lightning delays in 2 weeks so far, coming away with 2 big wins. But what's been the key these first 2 games to kind of keeping everyone focused and ready to go come kickoff time?
Yeah, obviously not ideal. You don't want to keep stopping and starting. You get really excited to go play football, especially early in the season. But you know, man, our kids have just handled it unbelievably. Just the maturity of resetting, trying to control the controllable, and we talk about that all the time. And you know, it's about our attitude and our effort. And I've been so proud of our guys with unexpected delays and then starting games fast and being ready to go, you know, and so that tells you a lot about your ball club.
The offense was certainly ready to go against Hebron. 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns. One of them, Davis Penn, his first since coming back from that ACL injury. What was it like to see him get into the end zone?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, just, you know, we're going to need him, you know, in a big way. He's such a playmaker for us, but just to watch, you know, his process after the knee and his rehab and how serious he took it and just the battle through some peaks and valleys. Just so proud of the kid, you know, and just what, you know, he means to us, the program, what he means to me. You know, you obviously root for the kids that, you know, bring their best each and every day, and Davis does that.
The offense also showcased its big playability. You had 40-plus yard completions to your 3 top receivers, Blake Gunter, Brody Knowles, and Brock Boyd. What does that kind of display? What does that kind of show to the area of, hey, these are the weapons we have?
Yeah, and I think, you know, for us, you know, we knew we were going to have some opportunities down the field. We wanted to be aggressive early in the game versus a cover 4 defense that wants to sit on you and be aggressive. You know, we wanted to back them up and just really pleased with, you know, our operation. When you get those opportunities, you know, you want to capitalize, and we've capitalized on big play opportunities early in the season so far. We got to continue to do that, but I think it shows that, you know, obviously, you know, any of those guys can have a big night. It also shows, you know, obviously Brock is, you know, one of the top receivers in the country in the state of Texas, but if you want to cloud him or double him, we have other guys they can hurt you in big ways.
On the defensive side, we talked about the line last week with Marcus Brous. This week, Crawford Taylor, it seems like he's been living in the backfield the first couple weeks of the season. What have you seen from him?
Oh, man, the kid cares so much, and I think that shows up during the week and how he's able to play fast on Fridays, and just his improvement from his junior year to senior year has been unbelievable. It's a credit to him and his work ethic and how he attacked the offseason, his mentality. But he has really turned into a guy that's one of our leaders in our locker room, and just by the way he's playing. And I think obviously that's given him the confidence to be able to use his voice. And but yeah, he's had 2 really good weeks back to back.
It's impossible to talk about this Byron Nelson team without talking about the passing of head coach Travis Pride over the offseason. What was your relationship like with him?
Yeah, me and Coach Pride go way, way back. So Coach was my dad's offensive coordinator here for a couple of years in the early 2000s. Actually coached me when I was a young guy. I got hurt and went to receiver. And as a sophomore, I played receiver, so I was in Coach Pride's room. And obviously our working relationship and, with him and Byron and me here at Carroll, just it was heartbreaking, and just my heart goes out to their staff, their kids, their community. Obviously, Coach Pride's family. Me and Alexis, my wife, had an opportunity to go to Coach's funeral, and it was an amazing celebration of life. But he was just such a kind person, great football coach, but an amazing human being. Pretty laid back guy, but man, just got the most out of the people around him, and I know they're healing over there. I know they're still grieving, but the world was a better place when Travis Pride was in it. So hopefully both programs can honor Coach this evening and do it the right way.
Now, to make the uncomfortable shift back to talking about football, you talk about Coach Pride getting the most out of his teams. This is always a matchup that brings the best out of both, kind of a big rivalry game in Northeast Tarrant County. How do you make sure your guys are ready for the effort that they're going to see from the other side?
Well, they're going to bring it. There's no doubt. They're going to be prepared. Coach Woodward and their staff's going to do an amazing job of getting their kids ready to play. We're going to get their best effort, and so we got to match the same intensity level. I think last time we went over there, they got us, and I think it had a lot to do with we got out physical, and I think they wanted to play football a little bit more. They were excited to play, and so we got to match that. It's going to be a great environment. They have an amazing student section. It's going to be a hostel to a certain extent, so we're going to have to weather the storm a little bit, but that's the thing I'm preaching. I think our kids are going to be ready to go.
That's Dragons head coach Riley Dodge before Carroll takes on Byron Nelson on the Dragon Sports Network.
For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents of Southlake and the proud parents of 4 dragons. I've been a dedicated volunteer in Southlake for the past 13 years, including serving 7 years on Southlake City Council. I'm the president and managing shareholder at Godwin Bowman, which was established in Dallas in 1980 to serve clients with business litigation issues all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and I'm board certified in civil appellate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Please consider me, Sean McCaskill, and the law firm of Godwin Bowman for your business litigation needs. Please visit our website at www.godwinbowman.com for more information. I promise you that we'll provide big city experience together with small town service.
Hello, Dragon fans. It's no secret, Southlake Carroll students have a long history of success. Protect the Tradition speaks to the success Carroll students have achieved in the past, both on and off the field. Games aren't won on game day. It's hours and hours of practice, working together, and trust in the process that builds confidence that leads our students to achieve extraordinary results. Like the Dragons, our team at Mills Wealth has a long history of success. We're celebrating our 25th year anniversary of helping clients make wise decisions about money. If we can help you, check us out online at millswealthadvisors.com.
For your next family get-together, church event, or corporate outing, well, leave the cooking to Feed Store Barbecue in Southlake. Feed Store has everything you need to make everyone happy, with delicious barbecue, fixings, and desserts. And the best part, They'll set it all up for you, and they'll take it away when you're done. All you have to do is eat. Call us at 817-488-1445 or online at feedstorebbq.com. Go Dragons.
This is John McKellar from White's Chapel in Southlake. This is one of my favorite times of the year because football is back. The Dragons are all about tradition, and White's Chapel is no different. For over 150 years, White's Chapel has been at the heart of this community. We're a church that preaches a message of grace and love. We'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
Side gets away from a defender across the 5. Touchdown Dragons.
From Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin, it's the 2-0 Carroll Dragons against the 1-1 Byron Nelson Bobcats in the 4-6A opener for both schools in 2025. Hi there and welcome in. Chris Blake alongside Robert Clayton, our statistician Monty Clegg, and director Tim Polster. Tonight, the Dragons inside the Dragon Head getting ready to take the field as we continue on the Clayton & Clayton Real Estate pregame show tonight. Very classy move by the Carroll Spirit Squad, the cheerleaders right now holding up a sign that says this game we play in honor of Coach Travis Pride, honoring the legacy of a former Dragon State champion. Pride was the offensive coordinator on the Carroll teams that won the title in 2004 and 2005, a beloved forever Bobcat. Pride died in May. Defensive coordinator Zach Woodward has taken over as interim head coach. Coin toss going on right now at midfield. Coin toss presented by the Baker firm, Fidelity National Title. If you need title work, call Julie Walter. So Carroll has won the toss, elects to defer to the second half. Byron Nelson will receive, going towards the north end of the field to start the game tonight. But as we get started here, let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game for the Dragons, as we're just a few minutes to kick off tonight. Starting in the offensive backfield, Davis Penn getting his first official start. He'll be out there in the first series for the Dragons after Brooks Biggers started the first couple of games with Angelo Renda in the backfield. Wide receiver core, the same as it has been the first two games of the year. Brock Boyd, Brody Knowles, Blake Gunter, and Caden Mackey. And the offensive line from left to right goes Luke Wilson, Will Barley, Kerry Clayton, Nathan Damaraki, and Tristan Dare. And Robert, this is a group you said that coaching staff is challenging. This is a talented group, first of all, 4 Division I commits, but that the coaching staff is pushing to do even more.
Well, I think they wanted to set the tone. You don't want to try to get complacent, when you got, quote-unquote, one of the top offensive lines in the state of Texas, and Coach Josh does an excellent job on pushing these young men to say, not only are you very talented, but you can be better. Keep working, practice how you're going to play, and he's really preached that this week to this group.
On the defensive side for Carroll, Crawford Taylor, Jake Lucky, Jackson Oakley, and Marcus Browse up front. No Zach Hayes tonight for the Dragons. Linebacking group, Robbie Ladd and Will Lyons, with Taven Coons and Luke Busman, the cornerbacks. And the 4 safeties, as Carroll will rotate these guys in and out. William Chen, Gavin Strange, Austin Busman, and Parker Harris, who returns to the lineup for tonight's game. So both teams have taken the field as we get set for the national anthem. Let's get Robert's keys to the game.
Well, Chris, I'm always going to say dominate the line of scrimmage, but I think tonight in particular, you've got to establish a run game if you're Carroll. And if you're on the flip side, on the defensive side, you've got to get to Almanzal. And then number 2, shut down number 5, the QB. He hasn't played QB really since his freshman year. And so what he does is bring a lot of leadership, but you got to force him to make the tough throws and get him to make the difficult reads. And then I think with any type of game, if it's a Byron and Carroll game, is win the turnover battle. Every turnover can switch momentum, and that momentum can play a huge factor in these games.
We pause now as the teams are ready for the national anthem. Byron Nelson is down on a knee for a group prayer in the south end zone, now making its way to the sideline to be in position for tonight's anthem. Bobcat band performing the national anthem tonight at Northwest ISD Stadium before Carroll and Byron Nelson get set to start 4-6A play. Just heard Robert's keys to the game before the anthem, presented by Clayton and Clayton Real Estate. If you're thinking about buying or selling your Southlake home, meet Robert Clayton and Carroll Clayton Young with Clayton and Clayton Real Estate. Recognized by both clients and industry professionals as one of the very best in Southlake and DFW, Robert and Karen bring expertise and hometown pride. As Carroll graduates, lifelong Dragons, Dragon parents, and 30-year residents, they are invested in the community and serve through nonprofits and youth sports, benefiting Southlake and Carroll ISD. The Clayton team is committed to making your real estate experience seamless from start to finish. Clayton and Clayton Real Estate, where Dragons represent Dragons. So Carroll will kick to start the game tonight. Byron Nelson will get the ball first. This is a Bobcats offense. This is a Bobcats offense that is led by offensive coordinator Hunter Hughes, quarterback Parker Almanza, the senior Baylor commit, as a tight end, but playing quarterback this season after a standout year last year when he caught 59 passes for 9 touchdowns and was named first team all-district.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most intriguing parts of this Bobcat team is Almanza, being that Baylor commit, playing tight end. But he's someone the Dragons have seen, the past 3 years in multiple ways, and he's always posed a problem for the Dragons as well.
So Gavin Strange will put the foot into it. And we are underway here in Justin. This one is going to land in the end zone, bounce through for a touchback, and Almanza will lead this Bobcat offense out for the first possession of the game from its own 25-yard line.
Yeah, if you're the Bobcat offense, you've got to try to slow down this defense of Southlake. They're going to try to get to the ball. We've seen what their front four can do. They get through their gaps quickly. They disrupt the backfield. So for anything, they've got to establish that run game just as like Carroll does, but take some pressure off number 5 and let him be the athlete that he is and what Coach Woodard wants him to be.
So we told you who the starters were for this Dragon offense. In the backfield alongside Almanza, it'll be Frank Maycong, a senior running back, 10 carries for 75 yards in week 1. They send a receiver in motion, get it to him around the end. Goes Nolan Hawkins. He's across the 30 and up near the 35-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 33. Hawkins, a sophomore. Byron Nelson going quickly, already back, set, ready to go on second down. They give it to Maycong, running up the middle, has the first down across the 35.
And folks at home, circle Nolan Hawkins. He's the guy on this Bobcat team, only a sophomore, but he plays both ways. He's a tremendous athlete. He's someone that Coach Woodard said, if I can play him at nose guard, I definitely would, because he's the best player on the field at any given time.
Yeah, said he was the best football player in this program. We'll see Nolan Hawkins, number 11, playing both ways, as well as number 2, Mahamadou Sibi. 2 receivers each side. They keep it on the ground, give it to Mekong, who squirts through a hole and manages to gain a yard after it looked like his forward progress was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Finds a way to pick up 1.
That's a good job by this Carroll defense of just slowing down this tempo of Byron Nelson. 2 big plays there, allowing it to just get reset, get a second down. This is a big down for the Dragons. Make them play behind the chains a little bit if they can.
Empty backfield for Almanza, who will, on a design quarterback run, get hit in the backfield and is dropped. Who else but the guy we highlighted before the game, Crawford Taylor, getting in there and bringing him down.
Tremendous job by Crawford Taylor. Talk about his first step. It is so quick. And you see number 5, Parker Almanza. He's going to go back, and if it's not there, he's going to tuck it and run. He's not going to make the multiple reads down the field, but tremendous heads up, and what a pursuit by Crawford Taylor.
They lost a yard on the play back to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Bobcats. Reed Williams, the junior, goes in motion. Almanza looking to throw over the middle. It is in and out of the hands of Mahamadou Sibi, the senior wide receiver and Wake Forest commit. It'll be 4th down.
Again, tremendous job by Coach Munn and the defense. Just taking a moment here, slowing down this fast-paced offense that coming out of the gates. Put him in the long 4th down. That's where the Dragons want to put number 5 at Parker. They want him to make those throws down the field. Making those multiple reads is going to be tough if they have to do it all night for this Bobcat offense.
Almanza is also the punter for this team, so he's back to punt it away and does get it away, but it goes out of bounds along the Carroll sideline. They're only going to give him a few yards on this punt, but there is a flag down on the play. The officials go out to confer on this one. We pick up the flag, so it'll be Carroll ball. They say this one out of bounds at the 50. So not a great punt by Almanza, and Carroll in great field position to get it started here tonight.
And this is where we talk about the coin toss and deferring to the second half. You get an opportunity to get points on the board first, and your first possession is right at midfield. It's a terrific start for this Dragon offense.
So Renda and Davis Penn in the backfield to start the game for the first time this year together. Renda will throw on 1st down, gets it to Gunter in the flat, makes a man miss at midfield across the 45, bulls forward towards the 40-yard line.
Chris, we talked about what's special about Blake Gunter. It's not only just his receiving skills, but it's what he does with the ball after the catch and the effort he puts in. He turned a 2 to 3 yard catch there in the flats into a 1st down, and that's pure effort by Blake Gunter.
Gunter, top 5 in DFW in yardage through 2 weeks this season at the receiver spot as Penn gets it on 1st down, spins forward for a gain of 2.
Again, Penn getting the call tonight. And I'm going to see a lot with this offense and this offensive line in this run game for Carroll, really trying to establish that inside zone, get to their bread and butter, and try to work down this Bobcat D-line.
They bring in the tight end, John Mark Fraga, here on 2nd and 8. From the 38. Bobcat showing pressure from the left side. They bring it. Penn trying to escape it. Able to outrun it for a few yards before he falls forward across the 35.
A terrific combo block up front with Kerry Clayton and Nathan Domrocki. It sprung Davis Penn there into the 2nd level. And this, you got to lean on this offensive line a little bit here, especially in these 3rd and short situations.
Well, on 3rd down and 4 to go, Carroll's got to get to the 30-yard line. Empty backfield for Renda. 4-man front for the Bobcats. Angelo throws it to Mackey in the flat, working across the 30. This is going to be awfully close. I think they're going to mark him just short of the first down. It'll be 4th and inches. They send a couple of receivers off the field here. Bring in 2 tight ends in Fraga and Jacob Bobrowski.
We talk about putting that pressure on the offensive line all week and to practice how you play. Right now, they're going to get right behind this big group and try to get this first down.
Boyd and Knowles split out wide to the left. And Zach Woodard wants to use a timeout. So before the ball was snapped, Byron Nelson will call its first timeout of the game. Timeouts presented by Dragon Special Olympics. We will take it as well. No score with 7:55 to go in the first quarter on the Dragon Sports Network.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
So Carroll facing a 4th and inches, maybe a foot. Looks like from the spot to the yard to gain is for the Dragons just across the 30-yard line, as interim head coach of the Bobcats, Zach Woodard, uses his first timeout. He's also the defensive coordinator for this group, was the defensive coordinator under Travis Pride for 9 years. So Carroll comes out in the same set, a tight end on each side. Penn over to Renda's left. On 4th down, they give it to Davis, plows forward for the first down. All our first downs tonight brought to you by the Dragon Den.
Great job by moving the chains by the Dragon offense, getting behind Will Barley and Luke Wilson there on the left side. Hard running by Davis Penn. And you love to see that type of the gutty performance there on the first drive. Great pickup by the Dragons.
They bring Gunter back out onto the field for one of the tight ends. A new set of downs for Carroll at the 28. Renda so far this year, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, just under 600 yards passing. In fact, has gone over that mark with the Blake Gunter catch and run tonight. On first down, Penn gets it again, shifting across the 25. Gets it down to the 22.
You love seeing leaning on this line. I keep saying it on this drive, but you're going to see a heavy dose of the inside run game. Again, getting behind Will Barley and Kerry Clayton. They're going to try to remove those Bobcat defenders to get Penn in the second level and take control of this game, not only getting it done on the ground, but milking some of this clock as well, Chris.
Now 4 receivers into the game as Mackey returns for Carroll. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score between Carroll and Byron Nelson. Renda takes the snap, throws short. Boyd makes the catch across the 15 and out of bounds to pick up 6.
Good little comeback right by Brock Boyd. Again, going their man-to-man coverage. This is a Byron Nelson defense. You're going to see multiple fronts here that they're going to propose. They're going to go from a 4-man front. They're going to flip into a 3-man front, and there's really not a whole lot of rhyme or reason why that happens. But really, looking in the back end with Nolan Hawkins, number 11, and then Matthew Stuckey, number 6, that middle linebacker.
This first down's brought to you by the Dragon Den. Renda going to keep it here. Trying to get outside, gets a block from his receiver across the 10 and out of bounds. We talk about all the time that Carroll receivers have to be able to block, and one springs Angelo there for a gain of about 7.
Well, you love the read by Angelo. He saw the defensive end crashing down, so he pulled it, didn't give it to Davis Penn, took it around the edge, and tremendous blocking on the edge by the Carroll receivers.
Trips left, ball on the left hash. Carroll inside the 10-yard line. Renda Going to give it to Penn this time, and he is wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage. In on the stop was Will Myers and Matthew Stuckey.
Yeah, Will Myers is a good little player for the Bobcats. He comes in and spells, but I think, right there in the center, number 42, the right defensive tackle, Vahali, is one of their better players on this defense.
3rd down and 3 for the Dragons. Big down here for this Bobcats defense. Dragons have both tight ends back on the field. Penn going to get it. Trying to get it outside. Left can't do it. He's brought down in the backfield. A short loss on the play as it was Mohamedou Sibi, the senior who plays both ways, coming up to get Davis.
Tremendous job by Sibi just staying home and not allowing Davis Penn to get to the edge. A great athletic play on the edge. And again, this is another two-way player for this Bobcat team.
So Gavin Strange will come on for the field goal try for the first time this season. Field goals and extra points this year brought to you by CLC Roofing. The deep snapper is Cody Williford. The holder, Luke Jacquemart. The kick is up, and it is good. So Gavin Strange converts on his first field goal try of the season, and with just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, the score is Carroll 3 and Byron Nelson nothing on the Dragon Sports Network.
Are you considering buying or selling your home in Southlake? I'm Kim Bedwell with Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty, and I would love to assist you. Recognized as one of the top professionals in Southlake by both industry peers and clients, I am a proud mother of 2 dragons and have been a resident of this amazing community for over 20 years. I know Southlake inside and out, and I am committed to ensuring your real estate journey is seamless and successful. You can find me at kimbedwell.com. Kim Bedwell Real Estate, delivering the highest level of experience and results in Southlake and beyond. Go Dragons!
Hey everyone, this is Michael Baum, General Manager at Hearst and Louisville Autoplex. We are longtime supporters of all things Dragons. This season, if you want to show up to the game in style, come see me or Brees Higgins, where we have the largest selection of late model, high-end, pre-owned trucks and SUVs. As a family-owned and operated dealership, we'll treat you like part of our family. Come see us on either side of the Metroplex and get a new ride today. Shop us online 24/7 at HurstAutoplex.com. Go Dragons!
3-0 Dragons, and the kickoff from Gavin Strange is going to be turned by McCavian Hill, making some tacklers miss as he gets across the 25-yard line to the 26. As Carroll leads 3-0 after that Gavin Strange field goal. It ended a drive that went 11 plays, 40 yards, took 5 minutes and 4 seconds off the clock for this Carroll offense.
So only coming away with 3 points, probably not ideal for the Dragon offense, but again, the time taken off the clock is probably more important here. We saw the Bobcat offense come out here. They came out a little hot and slowed down and sputtered out. And, the Dragon defense is going to have to put in that position again this drive to get the opportunity to get the ball back to the Carroll offense.
So Almanza will lead this offense back out onto the field. They break the huddle quickly and get to the line. Empty backfield here, and Almanza will look to throw under pressure. Throws over the middle. A little too far out in front of his intended target. That target was the junior Gavin Tracer, who has 7 receptions for 80 yards so far this year.
And what I love about the Dragons, they're taking Almazan out of his element, essentially, not allowing him to run and get those easy plays. They're forcing him to stay in the pocket and try to make some plays with his arm.
The senior running back Cooper Kennemer into the game in the backfield now as Chen shows blitz, doesn't come. RPO is overthrown, intended for Sibi, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
They're trying to catch Carroll sleeping. They're trying to get them to follow the RPO, the fake buck sweep to the right, and the flowing back to the backside of the defense. And again, this is not a position the Bobcat offense, wants to put number 5 on, and just trying to make plays with his arm.
By that end, are you a little surprised that they threw on both 1st and 2nd down, putting them in a 3rd and long situation?
I just don't think you can do that. You've got to keep this clock going.
Carroll rushes 3. Almanza going to take a shot deep, looking for Hawkins, who hauls it in. Wow, across the 35-yard line. Nolan Hawkins goes up and gets it for a Dragon Den first down.
Well, 3 times the charm. He just stays in the pocket. Good protection by the Bobcat offensive line. And then we talked about Nolan Hawkins. He's the best player on the field for this Bobcat team. And he goes to him and makes the play.
Almanza rolling out on first down. Gets a block. Now he's going to tuck it, get out of bounds across the 35-yard line. Replays tonight, by the way, presented by Recoat Revolution. After that 34-yard pickup by Nolan Hawkins.
Now we're in the territory where this probably plays more in favor into the quarterback's favor. Just a shorter field. You're not going to see much of the passes, but you're going to see his legs, and hopefully they start establishing some type of run game here and allowing this clock to run a little bit for him.
He was dragged down out of bounds, so the clock did stop here with 4:18 to go. Almanza looking to throw, completes it to Sibby over the middle, makes one defender miss, gets a block outside across the 25-20, and finally shoved out of bounds over there by Gavin Strange.
Great job by finding Sibby. We saw Sibby make the big play on defense earlier, now making a play on offense right there across the middle. A great pickup on the short intermediate throws.
Dragon Den first down as they hand it off to Kennemer. The senior running back gets his 10th carry of the season, picks up a couple of yards.
I think you're starting to see, you get those big play momentum for the offense, especially with the Bobcats. They're going to start using that momentum against this Carroll defense, and they're starting to find some success getting the ball down the field. Just a little pass, a big pass, and also in the running game as well.
Everyone in tight to the set here as Almanza hands it off to Kennemer, who gets across the 10 down towards the 5 and picks up a first down. Again, first downs brought to you by Dragon Den.
Catching a blitz by the Dragons. A great pickup on inside zone there for Kennemer, running hard in the second level.
Bobcats going quickly. Almanza gives it to Kennemer again. This time he is swarmed into the backfield and stopped by the combination of Oakley and Taylor. They'll lose a couple yards.
Again, you're seeing that the carry out fake by Parker. He does such a tremendous job on that sometimes you don't know if he has it or Kennemer has it, but great pickup and great job by the Dragon defensive line on sniffing that out.
Almanza is taking some shots on these fakes too.
He is giving his body up on some of these fakes, I'll tell you that too, Chris.
He's got an empty backfield here with 3 receivers to the left side, 2 to the right. Second and goal from the 9. They send Williams in motion. Flags fly. We wait to see what the call is here. Byron Nelson will elect to use its second timeout here. We will take it as well. Timeouts brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. With 2:40 to go in the first quarter, the score is Carroll 3, Byron Nelson nothing on the Dragon Sports Network.
Recoat Revolution, your one-day floor solution. I'm Joe Worrell, Southlake resident, Air Force veteran, and proud father of 2 dragons. Our one-day sandless, dustless process refreshes flooring without the mess, smell, and expense of traditional refinishing. If your floors have damage, wear from furniture, or even little dragon talons, we can tackle those issues to have you back in a clean home that night. Sandless, dustless, odorless, done by dinner. Recoat Revolution. Go Dragons!
Byron Nelson has already used 2 timeouts in the game's first 10 minutes. They come back out with an empty backfield on second and goal from the 9. Williams goes in motion here. Almanza on a quarterback draw is going to be hit in the backfield and stopped. In on the tackle for the Dragons was senior linebacker Will Lines.
Will Lines, what a tremendous effort. Again, the Bobcat offense just going there with a quarterback draw and good heads-up play on and staying home. And what a hit by Lines.
And talking to head coach Zach Woodward this week, or Woodward rather, he said Almanza's built like a tank. So
I think you can see it. He's taking shots. He's making plays. They're everything on offense.
A big 3rd and goal here. Almanza rolling out to the left. They get the ball into the flat, but incomplete, intended for the junior Reed Williams, and it will be 4th down.
Great job by the Dragon defense, just keeping this Bobcat offense out of the end zone, and we're trading field goal for field goal right now if they can complete this attempt.
Oliver Bell, the kicker for Byron Nelson, out of the hole to the backup quarterback, Charlie Madrano. From the right hash, ball placed at the 17-yard line. The 27-yard attempt is up, and it is good. So with 1:54 to go in the first quarter, we are tied at 3 from Northwest ISD Stadium on the Dragon Sports Network.
The Dragon Den is your home for the best selection of Dragon fan gear in town. We offer many styles and sizes, and we're your Dragon hat headquarters. 100% of your purchase supports our student athletes in UIL sports grades 7 through 12. We're open weekly during all home football games and most Tuesdays and Fridays 11 to 2. We're everything Dragon. Interested in volunteering with us? We need adult and high school volunteers to work during hours we are open. That's the Dragon Den at Dragon Stadium. Go Dragons!
Hey, Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, recharge with red light therapy, and fuel your body with our powerful Slim Shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Three all our score with just under 2 minutes to go in the first. Oliver Bell lines up to kick it away for Byron Nelson. Pooch kick going to be fair caught by the Dragons at the 31-yard line. Bell had that field goal to tie the game at 3. All field goals brought to you by CLC Roofing this season. So for the Dragons, the first time they have been tied, not at 0-0 so far this year. Carroll's only given up 7 points all season. They gave up a touchdown to Hebron in the second quarter last week after that 49-0 shutout of Midland in week 1.
Yeah, it's the first time we see the Dragon offense not score a touchdown on their first drive of this season as well.
One receiver to the short right side of the field, 2 in the slot left. Renda will throw on first down, has time, floats one down the left side. It is tipped up and nearly intercepted. It was Sibby in coverage there for Byron Nelson. Also coming over to help out was Andrew Thompson.
Just a little out route by Brody Knowles, and I think Renda will want to have this one back. But what a heads up job by Brody Knowles of coming back and fighting and batting the ball down and preventing an interception.
Check that. It was actually senior linebacker Colt Pride who almost grabbed it on that tip. Empty backfield again. Renda over the middle looking for Boyd. It is off the turf. Incomplete. Hawkins was there on the back end, grabbed that ricochet, but it was incomplete.
It was a great route by Boyd. He came across on the slant, had him open, and I know he maybe about a yard too short there. And this is time for this Dragon offense. So you've had 2 pass plays. Not a whole lot of time eaten up. You got to get this first down.
This is a Nelson defense that has forced 7 turnovers in its first 2 games, plus 3 in turnover differential this year. Renda will look to throw again down the right sideline, looking for Boyd. This one's going to fall incomplete, and a flag comes out here. He was running step for step with Rodney Weatherspoon, the senior corner.
You love what Riley Dodge there. He put Biggers in motion, created a 1-to-1 situation for Boyd, and Rodney Weatherspoon gets the pass interference.
Get a look at it on the Recoat Revolution replay. Weatherspoon and Boyd jockeying for position down the sideline. I don't know that Weatherspoon ever got his head around until the ball was already on the turf. So the penalty leads to a first down for the Dragons, brought to you by Dragon Den. Dragon Den is the official store for Dragon Spirit Wear. Check them out ahead of next week's home game against Trinity. It'll be a green out, so get all the green you need at the Dragon Den. First down at the 46. They give it to Biggers. Big hole on the left side. Bounces it out for the first down near the 40-yard line. Another Dragon Den first down on the first touch of the day for Brooks Biggers.
You gotta love what you see from Brooks Biggers here. It just is a simple inside zone. Watch the patience of Biggers. He's developed right behind Kerry Clayton and Will Barley. Tremendous combo block by Luke Wilson and Barley. And just watch the cutback by Biggers getting the first down. Huge gain for the Dragons.
On another first down, Biggers gets it again, running hard, stumbling towards the 35-yard line. Tackled by Matthew Stuckey.
Just plain and simple, get behind the big guys, let them create the holes, and you go make the play.
Through a couple of games, Biggers, guy with some size, runs hard. Give it to him again. 3 plays in a row. Biggers falls forward for a pickup of maybe a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd and short.
Again, I love this mentality of this Carroll offense right now. Didn't have a whole lot of success with throwing the ball in the first few plays. You get a pass interference, and then we're going to keep it on the ground, keep it in between left guard, center, and right guard, and let's go pick up these first downs.
So 2 players in the backfield now with Renda. Biggers and Mackey to Render's right. They send Mackey in motion out to the left. They'll flip it out to him. On the lateral, he's got the first down and more across the 30-yard line. Caden Mackey picks up the first for the Dragons to the 25.
And what a player Caden Mackey is. He's a dual sports star, a star baseball player for the Dragons as well. But he can do it at receiver. Tremendous. That's 2 receptions for him tonight with big plays.
And that play will take us to the end of the first quarter here in Justin. After 12 minutes of play, Carroll and Byron Nelson in the district opener are tied at 3. Second quarter coming up next on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey, you Dragon fans, it's Julie Walter with the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title in Southlake. I have some great news for all you homeowners. With school and football in full swing, this season will still be a great time to buy, sell, or refinance your home. At the start of football season, we will still see families moving into the Southlake area. Call your friends at the Baker Firm to get more information, and I promise you we will provide a smooth closing from beginning to end for your Dragon family. With our real estate attorney, Chris Baker, on hand 24/7, you will be sure to score a touchdown closing in our office. Protect the tradition with the Baker Firm.
Tied at 3 after 12 minutes from Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. Just down 114 from Southlake. Good crowd here for the Bobcats. Head coach Zach Woodward talked about his team's student section to us when we had a call with him during the week. Said they play a big role. They're loud.
They are lively tonight.
They are. And they were here early.
There was a line at the gate at about 5:10 when I pulled up.
Mackey in motion. Renda pumps, has a man all alone inside the 10. That is who else but Blake Gunter, wide open into the end zone for the touchdown. It is 9-3 Dragons.
You know, Blake Gunter had a play last week that he got behind the defense and they threw a long touchdown. He does the same type of thing here. Just watch him just sit underneath the Bobcat linebackers, wide open. This is an easy pitch and catch for Renda to Gunter.
Gunter's team high 4th touchdown reception of the year. Touchdowns brought to you by Kim Bedwell, Luxury Real Estate. Strange on for the extra point. It is up and through. All kicks are sponsored by CLC Roofing. So one play into quarter number 2. Carroll finds the end zone for the first time tonight. Dragons lead at 10-3, 11:55 to go in the second quarter on the Dragon Sports Network.
Feed Store Barbecue on Whites Chapel Boulevard in Southlake's been serving up great food to Dragon fans for over 20 years. Chopped brisket, pulled pork, and their signature ribs are just some of the reasons that people in Dragon Nation love Feed Store Barbecue. Call-in orders are welcome. They'd be happy to bring it out to your car if you want them to, or your truck. Order online at feedstorebbq.com and go Dragons.
Carroll up 10-3 after the Blake Gunter touchdown reception. If you're just joining the broadcast and you missed the Clayton & Clayton Real Estate pregame show, check out the Dodge Report by scanning the QR code on your screen. All the information you need to know about tonight's district opener between Carroll and Byron Nelson. So after the touchdown, Gavin Strange will kick it away for the Dragons, and this will go out of the back of the end zone for another touchback.
Chris, this is the Bobcat offense that found success on their second drive. A lot of that had to do with getting the ball to their playmaker, Nolan Hawkins, and then, just a tremendous effort by number 5, the QB, Parker. I tell you what, he's going to have to keep sacrificing himself a little bit tonight to be able to make those plays. But we saw an offense with the Bobcats, start to excel on both levels, on just the run game and the pass game just a little bit.
He's created a lot of offense for this team this year. Last week, through the air, 268 yards, 3 touchdowns. That was in a game against Louisville that the Farmers won 38-21. On first down, they give it to Hawkins, trying to bounce it outside to the left. He's brought down after a short gain. In there on the stop, Jake Lucky along with Austin Busman.
Again, sticking to the run there, going with the GT counter, then coming back with home, say a sweep through reverse side of the field. Try to catch this Dragon defense sleeping and going too hard to the play side. Good call by Byron, picking up a few yards on first down.
2nd and 7 now. Maycong in the backfield. He'll get it on the carry. Runs right side, stopped by a few Dragons. One of the first ones there for Carroll was Marcus Browse.
Yeah, Maycong for the Bobcats, he's the guy that Woodard said coming out of really fall ball that he stood out the most. He spent a majority of the time last year on JV, but he says he's one of the strongest players on the team and just a really hard-nosed running back.
Empty backfield here on 3rd and 6 after Maycong picked up a yard on 2nd down. Almanza looking to throw. Under pressure, trying to escape. He's brought down in the backfield for the sack. Getting there first for Carroll to bring him down for the sack presented by Life Medicine. It was Sam Erickson on the hit for the Dragons.
A great call up front by Coach Raz. It did a little stunt for the tackle defensive end. They both twist. One comes in, one comes over the top. And a great job by Erickson on just getting that executing, getting to the QB. And when he can do it with just 4 guys up front, Chris, it's going to be a successful night.
Almanza's punt is a short one. Harris telling his teammates to get away from it as it takes a Bobcat roll near the 50-yard line and goes out of bounds there. Quarterback sacks are brought to you by Life's Medicine. Start your ultimate recovery with Life's Medicine, located on Southlake Boulevard. So the last 2 Carroll possessions, or the 2 Carroll possessions after punts, I should say, have both started at midfield. Good field position tonight for the Dragons on offense. Teams traded field goals in the first quarter. On the first play of quarter number 2, Angelo Renda found Blake Gunter for a touchdown pass to put the Dragons up 10-3. Penn in the backfield, motions out to the right. Now comes back in, Renda fakes it to him. Rolling out to his right, goes downfield. It is going to be incomplete. He was looking for Knowles. Was facing pressure from behind by the senior defensive end, Campbell Blair.
It was good coverage by Byron there, faking to Davis Penn and trying to get some type of rollout. You had Gunter up front in the flats and you had Knowles down the field, but trailed pretty heavily by the Bobcat defense.
So 2nd and 10 for the Dragons. 3 receivers to the right. You got a tight end on the left side of the formation. Penn remains in the game in the backfield. Renda gives it to him. Davis, patient running. Picks up about 3 on the play to the 47.
This is why it's so important for this Carroll offense to develop this mentality. You got to get behind this offensive line and keep pounding the rock. Take the time off the clock, but if you're getting 3 to 4 yards of play, it makes third down much more manageable.
Dragons are 2 for 4 on third down tonight. Nelson defense has forced him in to some third and fairly long downs. Renda awaiting the snap, will throw. Again rolling out to his right, again being chased, trying to direct traffic, throws one down the right sideline looking for Knowles. It is caught inside the 5-yard line. Somehow Brody Knowles, with 2 defenders hanging all over him, hauls it in.
What a job by Angelo Renda. Great protection by the Carroll offensive line. And you're just going to see Renda come out here on a rollout, and, he calls his shot. Brody Knowles double covered, and only where Renda can throw it to Knowles. What a catch. Unbelievable by Brody Knowles.
44 yards on the completion to Brody Knowles for a Dragon Den first down. So it's 1st and goal now for the Dragons. Renda and Penn in the backfield. Gunter goes out to the right side. They're going to give it to Penn. Plunges into the end zone for the touchdown. Davis Penn has a touchdown for the 2nd straight week, and the Dragons go up 16-3.
Tremendous run by Davis Penn. Just getting behind the big guys up front, Luke Wilson, Will Barley, and Kerry Clayton, and it just enforcing their will. Watch the movement of the defensive tackle from off of Byron Nelson. Just a walk into the end zone by Davis Penn.
Touchdowns brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate, as Gavin Strange comes on for the CLC Roofing point after try. This is blown dead before the snap. Carroll called for the false start. Back him up, make it a little bit longer of an extra point. Strange has already connected on a field goal today. This extra point coming from 25, and he drills it. So Carroll, the big play, the Knowles reception inside the 5 for 44 yards. Davis Penn punches it in to finish off the drive, and the Dragons go up 17-3 with 8:55 to go in the second quarter on the Dragons Sports Network.
You can trust your medical care at Southlake Dermatology. We have over 65 years of experience between Dr. Bowers, Dr. Tynard, and our 4 physician assistants. We treat a wide range of medical, surgical, and cosmetic concerns ranging from skin cancer, hair loss, rashes, increased sweating, and anti-aging. There are multiple new options for hair loss, such as Nutrafol supplements and PRP injections. View our services online at southlakedermatology.com.
Carroll now up a couple of scores early in the second quarter as Gavin Strange kicks off for Carroll, and it'll be another touchback by the Dragon kicker. 8:55 to go in this quarter, and Robert talked about the offensive line enforcing its will on that touchdown run by Davis Penn. Head coach Riley Dodge said physicality was one of the points of emphasis this week in practice. Why is that key for Carroll? One, as it enters this game against Byron Nelson, but as it begins district play as well.
I think you want to make the makeup of your team, Riley's big on being a great practice team, because ultimately, as simple as it sounds, the harder you practice, the better you practice, the more it shows up on Fridays, and you've got to build that mentality, and that's what championship teams do. They practice hard, and they expect that out of, if you're a tag team player or whoever you are on that field.
This one thrown behind the receiver, but hauled in anyways by Owen Church, the senior. His third catch of the season. Picks up about 6 yards. 2nd and 4. It's Cooper Kennemer back into the game at running back for the Bobcats. And he'll get it and is going to be hit in the backfield, wrapped up and brought down. Getting in there first for Carroll was Kyle DeRoss, a junior defensive end, on the stop.
Great job by Kyle DeRoss, just staying home and finding the ball carrier and stiffing it out. We've seen Almanza just either keep it or hand it off, and he does a really good job on that fake. But tremendous job of finding the running back by DeRoss.
3rd down for Byron Nelson. Bobcats would love to get a 3rd down just to get their defense a little bit of a breather here as Almanza looks to throw. Dragons run a stunt up front. Almanza flips it over the line, completes it to Kennemer, who has the 1st down. Well, Kennemer, the running back, slips out of the backfield and picks up the 1st.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot more of Kennemer in the game for the Bobcats than expected. He must be having some type of different element that Coach Woodard likes to see.
Almanza on the run, throws, caught, and a big hit delivered on the back end by the Dragons. It was hauled in by the Byron Nelson receiver, but a big hit at the end of the play. It does move the sticks for a Dragon Den 1st down, and hopefully this is just getting the wind knocked out of him. So Carroll players head over to the sideline. Some other games in District 4-6A this week. Last night, LD Bell beat Timber Creek 35-28 at Keller ISD Stadium. The receiver up and walking off, that is Brody Pride, one of the sons of the late head coach Travis Pride, walking off on his own.
We talked about the impact of those two young men, Colt Pride, the linebacker on the other side, and a neat story that Coach Woodard shared with us that we'll share here a little bit later about the Pride brothers. Just, a huge effort, and I know weighing heavy on their hearts. It's not easy losing a father.
So 1st down, trips to the right. Carroll gets into the backfield, ball's loose. It's still loose at midfield, and let's see who recovered it. Carroll says they have it, and they do. William Chen comes up with the loose ball. He wanted to scoop and score, but will have to settle for the fumble recovery.
Again, it looks just it's a muffed handoff of some type, and again, just not on the same page. The quarterback in Kennemer, great job by Browse on just creating some disruption. And then you see Chin. Chin saw the end zone in his eyes, and coaches will always say, get the ball first. Don't try to get the touchdown. And I know Chin saw a touchdown slip out of his hands, but great job of falling on the ball and giving the Dragons another opportunity to get in the end zone.
Believe it or not, 1st turnover of the season forced by this Dragon defense. Turnovers brought to you by Paragon Designs. Turn over your next remodel or new home design. So Carroll once again with great field position to start. They send Harrison Phillips, the running back, out into the flat. Renda is going to take a deep shot on 1st down, looking end zone. It is caught inside the 5, and into the end zone goes Brock Boyd. Came down with it inside the 5, fell across the goal line into the end zone for 6.
All 4 of these Dragon receivers have made a play, and there is a reason why Brock Boyd is the number 1 in this receiver in the state. And I'll tell you, in my book, he is the number 1 receiver in the nation. great job on getting up, catching it at the high point, and bringing it down for a Dragon touchdown.
The feet down at about the 1 yard line and lunged forward across the goal line. So Strange on for the CLC Roofing point after try. It is up and good. Touchdowns tonight brought to you by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate as well. So Carroll now with 21 unanswered points to take a 24-3 lead. 7:04 to go in the second. Back after this on the Dragon Sports Network.
This is Pastors John and Todd from White's Chapel in Southlake. White's Chapel is a church where it's all about Jesus. We're a place where real people make genuine connections, where it's okay not to be okay.
We're a church where grace is a lifestyle and where everyone has a place, from the lifelong believer to the unchurched or de-churched. We're here for you, and we'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
Hello, Dragon fans. I'm Steven Nelson, partner at Mills Wealth. Our team is celebrating our 25th year anniversary of helping Dragons succeed financially. As an independent firm, we aren't owned by a bank or an insurance company. Instead, we're fiduciaries doing only what we believe is best for our clients. If your finances need a second opinion or would like to tap into our expertise, come meet with our certified financial planners or CPAs and learn how we can help you win just like the Dragons. Look us up online or give us a call at millswealthadvisors.com.
Gavin Strange will kick it away for the Dragons, leading by 21 now, 24-3, and this will be another touchback. Robert, the deep shot after a takeaway is kind of a Riley Dodge special. Likes to take that shot to really kind of put the exclamation point on the momentum swing.
He usually does it either first play of the game or after, a big turnover. And, what a terrific job. And I can't say enough about, this Carroll offense responding after that first drive. It's such a big play. Renda can just throw that ball up, and Boyd's just so incredible. He's such a great receiver, and it's so tough to defend him. Now, if you're the Bobcat offense, you're in a position where, you're trailing. You're going to have to get some points on the board just with this Dragon offense.
It's a 42-yard touchdown reception by Brock Boyd to give the Dragons that 24-3 lead as Mekong takes it on first down for the Bobcats. Luke Busman on the hit for Carroll. Second down upcoming. Bobcats still going quickly. They keep it on the ground here, and Mekong picks up a couple more.
Good. Another big play by Crawford Taylor. You're watching a lot of these Dragon defenders. It's just a relentless pursuit on the backside on tracking down these Bobcat ball carriers. And, those at home just listening, or if you're a young football player, that's just an effort play. That's just your relentless pursuit to the football.
5 receivers on the field for the Bobcats as Carroll's been rotating defensive linemen in and out of the game quickly tonight. Almanza looking to throw, faces pressure, launches one down the right sideline, and incomplete. A flag comes in late. They were looking for Reed Williams, the junior, and it was Luke Busman in coverage. So that gives Byron Nelson a little bit of a break. They get the first down there.
And I'm a Carroll homer, of course, Chris, but I don't know what I saw right there. I'm not sure I saw a whole lot of contact. I'm not sure if that was a payback call or what. But again, a very similar man-to-man situation that Carroll got a first down on a pass interference, and I don't know if I would call that a pass interference in my book.
I think there was a little more contact on the one called against Byron Nelson. But either way, it's a new set of downs for the Bobcats. Almanza looking to throw. Now he's going to take a deep shot, looking for Hawkins down the right side. This time it falls incomplete. And again, it is Luke Busman in coverage.
You're seeing not his specialty, Almanza just getting the ball down the field. It's not what his forte is. But as this offense, they're going to take shots. They're going to have to try to get some big plays. They're not having a whole lot of success on the run game, so they're going to have to do something here. And again, it's a lot of pressure on this Bobcat offense.
2nd and 10. Send the receiver in motion. Keep it on the ground and hit in the backfield and stopped once again, this time for the Dragons by Robbie Ladd.
It's tough, big play by Robbie Ladd. This is coming in with a GT counter. This is a power play. This should be a bread and butter play for this offense. And you're getting stuck right at the line of scrimmage. That's not very successful in terms of a run game for the Bobcat offense.
So 3rd and long, 3rd and 11. They've got to get up to the 43-yard line. 2 receivers each side. Dragon defense plays off the line. Almanza looking to throw, slings it out right side, incomplete. Was looking there for Owen Church, the senior, and Byron Nelson will punt it away.
Great job by the Dragon defense, putting, number 5 where he has to be at. You got to get him behind the chains, force him to get those reads down the field. He's not the most accurate passer. Again, he's a former tight end. He's going to tight end to play in college. So, it's not as your prototypical quarterback back there that they'll see throughout the year.
Almanza's first 2 punts have been short. Carroll has 2 returners back this time, in Harris and Boyd. It's another short one, and it's another one that goes well out of bounds. We'll see where they say it crossed the boundary. The official's still working his way up the sideline, and they will spot it at the 39. So the kicking game, not the field goals, but the punts have also come back to hurt Byron Nelson a little bit, giving Dragons short field.
I think it's field position, everything that are big factors that makes you a complete, well-rounded team, especially when you're playing a team like the Carroll Dragons where, field position, turnovers, all those things play such a big factor, and they're behind in all core categories on that right now.
With Byron Nelson on that possession, held the ball for just 1 minute and 48 seconds. We talk about needing to let the clock run against Carroll. Drive before that, 143. Drive before that, 155. It's putting the Bobcat defense on the field a lot against a very dangerous offense. Phillips into the game for running back, or at running back for the Dragons. They fake it to him, get it out to Boyd, who works his way close to the first down.
Great pitch and catch by Renda to Boyd, and Boyd just jukes the socks out of Matthew Stuckey there. And great play just in the open field and making a play with the ball. That's what these Dragons receivers, they're so excellent at, is just getting the ball, making a play, getting downfield.
Now 5 receivers out there for Carroll. We see Luke Jacquemart come into the game. He's in the slot left. So empty backfield for Renda. On 2nd and short, Angelo throws over the middle, complete to Boyd, who's got the Dragon Den first down across the 45-yard line.
And Riley's going to take that play all day. When you have Boyd lined up on two linebackers, I'm going to throw it to him every single time. Splits the coverage there. Great tight ball by Renda, drilling it to Boyd.
They'll stay in this empty set. Boyd this time is in the slot on the right side. Gunter and Mackey on the left side of the screen. Renda has all day to throw. Pumps once, finds a wide open Knowles at the 30-yard line. He goes forward across the 25. And with these 5 receivers on the field, Renda has all day to let go of the ball.
Well, it's tough because you have Boyd and Jacquemart just streaking down the field. It clears out the back end and then leaves the intermediate open for Brody Knowles to come in and just sit down. And at being at 6'5", he's such a huge target, it's easy to get the ball to him.
Another Dragon Den first down. Still no running back in the game for the Dragons. It's Knowles, Jacquemart, Boyd, Gunter, and Mackey out there for Carroll. On another first down, Renda gets it to Boyd again at the 25-yard line. Makes one defender miss, trying to cut back inside. Plows his way forward to turn a short gain into a gain of about 8.
Yards after catch, Chris, yaks. And that's what Boyd does. He made 2 defenders miss, 2 great jukes, and just getting the ball at the field almost for a first down. This offense is so explosive. Like you mentioned, Chris, they've gone almost 5 receivers the whole time, and not even missed a step. And now bringing Phillips into the running back.
Fraga into the game at tight end 2 as we get under 3 minutes to go before halftime. 3 receivers to the right. Phillips alongside Renda in the backfield. Angelo hands it to Phillips, picking his way patiently through the defense inside the 5 before he's brought down at the 2-yard line.
I absolutely love this, Chris. You watch Will Barley here, number 52, the left guard, gets out on a skip pull. Big man showing his athleticism, staying square to the line. Great job by Tristan Dare. And watch Will Barley just burrow through the linebacker to the second level. Great run by Phillips. Tremendous job by the Carroll offensive line in the backfield.
Picks up
Getting me excited, Chris.
Picks up a Dragon Den first down. The offensive lineman, you guys get excited when you get to play a little fullback almost. Get out there and look for a linebacker as the lead blocker. Phillips in the backfield again. They'll give it to him. He's hitting the backfield, keeps pushing forward, and gets across the goal line for the touchdown. Phillips hit in the backfield, but kept churning his legs, finds pay dirt for the Dragons.
It's just a terrific job by the Dragon offensive line, collapsing the entire Byron Nelson defensive line, and they're just enforcing their will on the Bobcat D-line, and great hard running by Phillips, finding the end zone for the touchdown.
Dragon touchdown sponsored by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate, as Strange once again comes on for the extra point. Jackamard does a good job to get the snap down, and Strange splits the uprights with the CLC Roofing point after try. So with 2:07 to go in the second quarter, it is Carroll 31 and Byron Nelson 3 on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey, Dragon fans, this is Robert Clayton with the Clayton team at Clayton Real Estate. Karen Young and I have been proudly serving Southlake for over 30 years in residential resale, family owned and operated, and former Dragons. Being a Dragon graduate, you truly understand what it means to be a Dragon. Tradition, excellence, and a winning team. That's what we provide our clients, the best service and experience in the industry with a winning tradition. Dragons representing Dragons. Call us today at 817-894-4152 or visit us on the web at www.dragonrealtors.com. Go Dragons.
Looking for a roofer who truly knows Southlake? My name is Chad Cross, owner of CLC Roofing, a longtime Southlake resident who's proud to serve this community. For decades, we have protected Dragon Country with roofs built to handle the scorching sun, sudden hail, and high winds, all while keeping your homes looking beautiful. CLC Roofing proudly supports the Carroll ISD, the Carroll Booster Club, and local events. Supporting Southlake is part of who we are. We know every HOA standard, city code, and neighborhood nuance because we live here too. When the storm hits, we're not hours away. We're already in your community, ready to help the moment you need us. Our crews are safety certified and led by project managers who always focus on details. From minor repairs to full replacements, we bring expert craftsmanship and clear communication to every project. We only install top-tier roofing materials, and as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, we can offer extended warranties most roofers cannot, because trust and quality go hand in hand. Protect the tradition, Southlake.
Looking for
Short kick by the Dragons gives Byron Nelson the ball at the 22-yard line, the first one that was returnable for the Bobcats tonight. Just over 2 minutes to go before halftime. Chris Blake, Robert Clayton with you from Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. Just about 15-20 minutes to the west of Southlake. And Byron Nelson trying to make something happen before the half as they keep it on the ground here. Hit in the backfield, spun around is Mekong by a swarm of white jerseys. Ladd and Oakley among the first there for Carroll. And after the play, timeout on the field. I believe this one taken by the Dragons. Riley Dodge spending his first timeout. Timeouts brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. We'll take a quick break with them as well on the Dragon Sports Network.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Come check out Champions Club at the Mark Southlake. Conveniently located off Southlake Boulevard in Bicentennial Park, Champions Club is your local, safe, and fun destination for fitness, play, and connection. From state-of-the-art workout spaces and exciting group fitness classes to our aquatic center, indoor courts, and party rentals, there's something for everyone. Make Champions Club your home for health, recreation, and family fun. Join today and discover what it means to live like a champion. Go Dragons!
after the timeout, it will be 2nd and 11 after a loss of a yard on first down for Byron Nelson. They haven't removed the timeout from Carroll on the scoreboard yet. Byron Nelson trying to hurry out of the huddle, but whistles blow. Or was that our 2-minute timeout? I believe that was our 2-minute timeout. So still 3 timeouts for Riley Dodge and the Dragons. That rule still has not stuck permanently in my brain since the season started, as Almanza will keep it on the ground on first down, lowers his shoulder, and is going to be hit and stopped by the Dragons. Parker Harris on the hit.
You love seeing the little buck sweep. Parker Harris coming down and filling that void, making a play. You know, this Dragon defense has done such a great job, and credit to Lee Munn to just getting the rotation in. You're seeing guys and they're getting breathers. They're keeping them fresh. They've really shut down this run game from the Bobcats.
So now Riley Dodge will use his first timeout of the half. Timeouts brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. Coming up on the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show, we'll talk with Joe Worrell, the owner of Recoat Revolution, our sponsor on replays this season.
Great family. I'm excited for the conversation on halftime. They love being Dragons, and they have more Dragons spirit that you can think of, and a great family. So happy to be here in Southlake. Excited to have them on the line at halftime.
More Dragon spirit than you?
I think they do. They have more than they can shake a stick at.
I always know when I pull into a parking lot and I see that truck with the 2 Dragon flags that Robert's here.
Those are actual flags, Chris. They're not car flags. They're actually real flags.
Third down for Byron Nelson. Carroll trying to get the ball back. Bring pressure. Almanza rolling out. Chased from behind. Gets rid of it. It is caught but shy of the sticks by Byron Nelson. Hawkins hauls it in, but I think he went out of bounds as well. So that stops the clock with 1:38 to go. For a second, it looked like Byron Nelson might go for it here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great opportunity for the Carroll just to get the ball back. Again, they're going to get it at excellent field position. Get some work on the 2-minute drill.
So new punter out there for Byron Nelson. It's number 24, Jet Jocelyn. We'll kick it away to Boyd and Harris for the Dragons. With under 1:40 to go, Jocelyn gets the foot into it, end over end, near midfield. Going to be fielded by Harris. Does not call for the fair catch. A full head of steam across the 40-yard line. Good burst by the junior rather, to pick up some extra yardage for the Dragons.
And Parker Harris, such an athlete, a big, strong young man. I tell you, when he puts that burst on, Chris, you can sit back in your chair a little bit. You're excited. You don't know if he's going to take it to the house or not, but again, the plague, I really think, of this first half is, not only the offense of the Bobcats sputtering out, but I would have to say just special teams, Chris. I mean, giving the Dragons the ball at 50-yard line, drive after drive, I mean, you're not making them work very hard.
No, for an offense that is difficult to slow down as it is, to give them a short field makes the game that much more of a challenge. So Carroll with the ball at the Byron Nelson 38-yard line to start this possession with 1.5 minutes and 2 timeouts. Biggers is in the game at running back with Renda. Fraga in the game as well at tight end. They motion Boyd out to the right. Renda throws short side of the field to Knowles, who falls out of bounds. No, they're going to say keep the clock rolling as he was tackled at the 29.
I love seeing this by the Dodge offense. Getting a little bit of tempo, working that 2-minute drill here. This is awfully not only get points on the board, but it's great experience for the Dragons and moving the ball with a short amount of time.
Trips right. They give it to Biggers, who is going to be hit shy of the 20-yard line, who moved the sticks for a Dragon Den first down.
What a big run. That hole was about as wide as it could be, something I always say I could run through, Chris, but, between Dom Rocky and Tristan Dare, Biggers is going to have a very successful night all night.
The clock ticking under a minute to go. They go to the air this time. Knowles tackled inbounds at the 17-yard line. And now Carroll will spend its second timeout. We'll take the timeout as well. Timeouts brought to you by Dragons Special Olympics. 46 seconds to go before halftime on the Dragon Sports Network.
For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents of Southlake and the proud parents of 4 Dragons. I've been a dedicated volunteer in Southlake for the past 13 years, including serving 7 years on Southlake City Council. I'm the president and managing shareholder at Godwin Bowman, which was established in Dallas in 1980 to serve clients with business litigation issues all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and I'm board certified in civil appellate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Please consider me, Sean McCaskill, and the law firm of Godwin Bowman for your business litigation needs. Please visit our website at www.godwinbowman.com for more information. I promise you that we'll provide big city experience together with small town service.
Out of the timeout, Renda throws over the middle. It is complete to Blake Gunter inside the 5-yard line. Carroll will try to punch it into the end zone before halftime.
You gotta love the poise of Renda, just managing this 2-minute drill like the field drill that he is.
They keep it on the ground. Biggers into the end zone for the touchdown.
Great job by Biggers, just getting behind Will Barley and Kerry Clayton there on the left side, finding pay dirt and watching him just explode through the hole. Just tremendous job by this offensive line we've seen as they got into the red zone and really down in between the 10-yard line, just enforcing their will in this Bobcat defensive line. Great job, again, execution by this Dragon offense.
Dragon touchdown sponsored by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate as Strange puts through the CLC roofing point after try. So Carroll executes that 2-minute drill, and with 29 seconds to go in the second quarter, it's Carroll 38, Byron Nelson 3 on the Dragon Sports Network.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
Under 30 seconds to go in the first half from Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. The Dragons scored now 35 unanswered points after teams traded field goals early in the first quarter. It has been all Carroll in this District 4-6A opener. So Gavin Strange to kick it away one more time before halftime. And it goes out the back of the end zone for a touchback. Well, once again, coming up at halftime, Feed Store Barbecue halftime show. We'll chat with Joe Worrell, the owner of Recoat Revolution. They're our replay sponsor on the broadcast this season.
Joe and Jennifer are great, just a great couple, a lot of passion. I think you're going to enjoy the halftime talk and learn a little bit something about what they do.
Other district games next week's opponent, Trinity, at home against Keller Central today. Trojans on top 14-0 in the second quarter. On first down, they'll keep it on the ground.
Big Marcus Browse making his presence known here before the half ends. We've talked about Browse a lot this year, becoming that swing guy from the defensive end, being able to put his hand down, then go to linebacker. He's just such a universal player, and he's a tremendous asset to this Dragon defense. Great to see him out there tonight. Great play.
Backup quarterback for Byron Nelson, Charlie Madrano, in the game on that snap. Not sure if it was just to make sure Almanza stayed out of harm's way on the last play of the half, or if there's something to keep an eye on. We will, of course, watch for number 5 when the Bobcats take the field for the first time in the third quarter. But a dominant first half performance by the Dragons, leading 38-3. A couple of touchdowns on the ground for Carroll, 3 through the air, and Carroll with a 35-point lead at the break. Well, when we come back, we'll have the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show for you, talking with Joe Worrell of Recoat Revolution. Plus, we'll have Robert's replay room later on in the half, and we'll take a look at more scores from around the district. Dragons 38, Bobcats 3 at halftime on the Dragon Sports Network.
Are you considering buying or selling your home in Southlake? I'm Kim Bedwell with Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty, and I would love to assist you. Recognized as one of the top professionals in Southlake by both industry peers and clients, I am a proud mother of 2 dragons and have been a resident of this amazing community for over 20 years. I know Southlake inside and out, and I am committed to ensuring your real estate journey is seamless and successful. You can find me at kimbedwell.com. Kim Bedwell Real Estate, delivering the highest level of experience and results in Southlake and beyond. Go Dragons!
Hey everyone, this is Michael Baum, General Manager at Hearst and Louisville Autoplex. We are longtime supporters of all things Dragons. This season, if you want to show up to the game in style, come see me or Brees Higgins, where we have the largest selection of late model, high-end, pre-owned trucks and SUVs. As a family-owned and operated dealership, we'll treat you like part of our family. Come see us on either side of the Metroplex and get a new ride today. Shop us online 24/7 at HurstAutoplex.com. Go Dragons!
Recoat Revolution, your one-day floor solution. I'm Joe Worrell, Southlake resident, Air Force veteran, and proud father of 2 dragons. Our one-day sandless, dustless process refreshes flooring without the mess, smell, and expense of traditional refinishing. If your floors have damage, wear from furniture, or even little dragon talons, we can tackle those issues to have you back in a clean home that night. Sandless, dustless, odorless, done by dinner. Recoat Revolution. Go Dragons!
Dr. Angela Bowers would like to invite you to visit Southlake Dermatology, which serves patients throughout the Metroplex in medical, surgical, and cosmetic dermatology. We recommend always using a zinc oxide sunscreen, such as Elta MD, and utilizing HelioCare, which is a sun protective pill. We have seen the incidence of skin cancers on the rise, including melanoma, which is the most harmful type. With yearly skin checks, we will be able to find skin cancer much earlier. Read about skin cancer and sunscreen options online at southlakedermatology.com.
Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin, where at halftime, Carroll leads Byron Nelson 38-3. We've got the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show for you. Chris Blake alongside Robert Clayton. And we're pleased to be joined in the booth now by the owner of Recoat Revolution, Joe Worrell. They are our replay sponsor this season. Joe, thanks for battling the traffic down 114 and coming out to Northwest today.
You bet. It's good to be here.
Well, been a sponsor of our replay this year. Your logo is on our screen all the time with all these Dragon highlights. What made you want to get involved with the broadcast?
I'll tell you, after falling in love with Southlake and our Dragon spirit, we wanted to put down roots and build something, for our family. I'm a veteran, and we believe that these values and trust are high standards and would serve us well in home services. Recoat Revolution is a proprietary process that preserves, restores, and protects existing floors, wood floors, and other hard surfaces without the mess of dust or downtime or sanding or replacement. And that's kind of where the Recoat Revolution Replay comes in. Just like watching a great play a second time, we give your floors a second chance to shine. It's faster, more affordable, and helps Southlake families and businesses get more value out of what they already have.
Well, that's great. You talk about it. All these houses in Southlake are built in the 90s predominantly, and coming through and getting a fresh new look. That's where you kind of step in, and that's awesome. So I think, when we talk about this, when we bring our sponsors on here, Joe, we talk a little bit about, why supporting is so important. And why did you choose, and your company choose to support, especially on the broadcast and just in general, to the Dragons?
Well, running a world-class program takes resources, and advertising for a business does the same thing. So supporting this broadcast lets us do both. We share our business with Southlake community we live in and love, and also help fund a program that benefits local students. It's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Joe, do you have, being around the community, whether it's football, another sport, off the field, favorite Dragon moment that comes to mind?
Ooh, my favorite Dragon
Jesse
moment.
getting 300 pounds in the summer.
Yeah.
That was my favorite moment.
No kidding, man. I'm telling you what, at the state championship game at AT&T Stadium, that was so exciting. It didn't turn out the way we wanted. But I would say this year, watching the freshman green team come back from a 20-point deficit in Allen, beating their opponents, man, it was incredible. Our son, Jesse, you were just talking about, he's a freshman, and seeing the team stick with it, the coach made adjustments, and they evolved through that game and really showed what it means to be a Dragon.
It was awesome. That's awesome. And it is, I think the story behind any of this, anyone's favorite Dragon moment is just Dragons being Dragons, right?
Yeah,
that's incredible. Well, tell us a little bit, you mentioned a little bit about what Revolution Recoat does, but maybe kind of drill down of what does that look like if someone comes in and calls, or what they want? Is it, hey, my floors are in a 1990 house and I need to get those, redone or repolished, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah, what we try to do is kind of keep floors. With so many things being replaced, your TV goes out, you just get a new one. Flooring, any hard surface, we can come in, fix where your dogs have scratched the floor. We can resurface it. We can recoat it.
That means you come to my house already.
Yeah, and we're done in one day. We can come in, you move things around. We get on the floor. We clean it, sanitize it, and then we're going to go back and fix all those spots, and then we're going to put a brand new layer of polyurethane over the top. 3 hours later, you're walking on the floor. 24 hours later, you're moving the furniture back in. No dust, no sanding, no harsh chemicals. It's just it's a beautiful process.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, how do if people want to reach out to you, what's the easiest way to do that?
The easiest way is recoatrevolution.com, or call the office 817-471-6892. And we will, or the QR code you're looking at right now on the screen, next to that guy standing behind a
sharp looking young man there. I'll tell you what.
Now, one of the things that jumped out to me, just the fourth franchise in the country, first one in Texas. What made you want to get involved and bring it to DFW area?
I'll tell you, we went out to St. Louis. We went to a over 100-year-old floor at 8:30 in the morning, and it looked 100 years old. They brought us back 5 hours later. The floor looked fabulous, and we just couldn't believe our eyes. And we couldn't believe the process, and it's just amazing the transformation that can happen in such a short time. Get on our website and go to some before and afters. It'll kind of, like I said, it blew our mind. It'll blow your mind. We've got great customers so far, and we love being the first franchise in Texas. Like I said, we were the fourth one, and then there's one in Austin that just opened, and then Houston is coming soon, and so we're just excited to bring this revolution to Texas.
I think it speaks volumes too. Just being a new franchise to Texas. But, you had one of the highest grossing sales this past month in the nation, which is incredible. It's a testament to what, you bring to the company. But one thing that stood out to me was, being a real estate guy, And when I'm, trying to get my real estate listings ready and prepped and ready to go, and I do a lot of listings in Southlake that homes are built in 90s. I just listed one the other day that was built in 98.
Yeah.
So talk about that prep. What does that look like if someone wants to reach out to, whether it's residential or commercial? What are some things they can look for that maybe they don't know they can call you for?
If like just yesterday, we went out to a house and there was a whole bunch of dog scratches in the floor, and they were in the process of putting a final offer in on the house, and we were able to go in and say, hey, this is how much it's going to take, this is how quick we can be in and out. So if they're going to close on a Friday and they want to move in on a Sunday, we can do that. If you were going to sand down those floors, you're out 2 weeks minimum. So this is a great process, and we, like I said, we can do any kind of hard surface. We specialize in hardwood floors, but if you have LVP, VCT, tile, we can do. We're any hard surface basically. And the other end of our business that we kind of forget about sometimes is our equipment sanitizes floors. So we can come into your place of business, we can sanitize and clean your floors. It's very affordable. And also, your return, from a business owner standpoint, if you have wood floors, your return to service is a day. Like if you have one day you're closed, we can come in that morning, the next day you're open.
Awesome.
That's all.
Well, and I got to say hi to your beautiful bride too,
Yeah.
Jennifer. She's here in the back. She's the counterpart to Joe. She's a wonderful.
I couldn't do it without her.
Absolutely.
All right, Joe. Well, we will let you go enjoy the rest of halftime. Finish watching these halftime performances. But thanks for making the trip out here and joining us in the booth tonight, and for your involvement in our broadcast, sponsoring the replays this year.
Of course, thanks for having us, and go Dragons.
Thanks, Joe.
It's Joe Worrell of Rico Revolution joining us here at Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. Feed Store Barbecue halftime show continues in just a moment. The Dragons are up 38-3 on Byron Nelson in the District 4-6A opener. Back in just a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
As a Dragon, it's all about protecting the tradition. As a church, it's our mission to make more deeply committed followers of Jesus. This is Todd Renner from White's Chapel in Southlake. For over 150 years, White's Chapel has been a part of this community. And though times have changed, our need for the gospel of Jesus Christ, our need to worship and grow and serve, our need to shine the light into the darkness hasn't. That's why White's Chapel is a church where tradition meets today.
Hey, did you hear? Somebody didn't want Feed Store Barbecue. That's right, it's true. One fella the other day, he wanted Feed Store chicken fried steak, and another asked for a Feed Store hamburger. And one scamp, well, he even had the nerve to ask for Feed Store burn-ins. Yeah, Feed Store is famous for its barbecue, but there's so much more. Order online at feedstorebbq.com and go Dragons.
The Dragon Den is your home for the best selection of Dragon fan gear in town. We offer many styles and sizes, and we're your Dragon Hat headquarters. 100% of your purchase supports our student athletes in UIL sports grades 7 through 12. We're open weekly during all home football games and most Tuesdays and Fridays 11 to 2. We're everything Dragon. Interested in volunteering with us? We need adult and high school volunteers to work during hours we are open. That's the Dragon Den at Dragon Stadium. Go Dragons!
Hello, Dragon fans. Julie Walter here from the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title, located right here in Southlake. It's Dragon football season, and as a mother of 4 former Dragons, I truly know how busy our fall schedules can get. At the Baker Firm, we provide great customer service with our knowledgeable escrow team, and we pride ourselves with a boutique-style title office that will close our customers anywhere in the DFW area. So, as you get ready to sell, buy, or refinance your home, be sure to tell your local agent or lender you want to close with the Baker Firm, and you are sure to score a touchdown.
Welcome back to our Feed Store Barbecue halftime show from Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin. Carroll up on Byron Nelson, 38-3. And again, we're unable to show the band and Emerald Bell performances to you at halftime this season. So you get me and Robert for a little bit of bonus time this year.
Yeah, you might need a break from us from half, but we're not going anywhere, folks. You have to continue to listen to us no matter what. And welcome to the replay room. With myself. As the weeks progress, we're getting better and better.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some of the big plays from the first half. Robert's got a telestrator this year. It's a dangerous thing, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. The first play here, we get a look at this big run from Brooks Biggers, and you like the blocking on this one.
Well, I love it, just because of Brooks Biggers, his development as a running back. Watch his eyes. He's forcing it to the play side, inside zone, to the right. Great combo between Domraki and Kerry Clayton. But then you watch Will Barley and then this Luke Wilson collapse it, and then Biggers just takes the hole and just collapses, go to the left, and big gain by Biggers. Huge run.
And Biggers today in the first half for Dragons, 5 carries, 32 yards to lead the team. Our next play, we have Angelo Renda finding a wide open Blake Gunter for the first Dragon touchdown of the day.
And this is what I love. You have 2 receivers. They're going out here. One's going vertical, and then Brody is going to come down. He's going to sit between the linebackers and the corners and find his soft spot. As the play develops, you're going to see him. Blake Gunter finds a soft spot right behind the defenders, and an easy job just getting in the end zone.
Gunter with his 4th touchdown reception of the year. There was the first Dragon touchdown of the night. Our third look today, we see Renda again rolling out, and on this one, he throws into double coverage. Brody Knowles somehow comes down with it between a couple of defenders. Outstanding catch by the junior.
Well, he throws it where only Brody can catch it, and it's a great job just of Angelo getting the snap. You're seeing the overhang right here with the block. Misses just a little bit, but it's actually a designed route by Penn. Great rollout by Renda. And then you see here catching at the high point right there, only to where 6'5" Brody Knowles can catch it. Just a terrific job over 2 defenders. This is what makes Brody one of the most sought-after receivers in the country as a junior. We're looking at this receiving corps from the Dragons, the best in the state of Texas, without a doubt.
Between Boyd, Gunter, and Knowles, really tough to cover these guys. And here, empty backfield, Renda will take another deep shot and another one that only his receiver could go up and grab. Great positioning by Brock Boyd to bring it down.
Again, we're talking about catching the ball at the high point. Great protection by the Dragon offensive line. No penetration, and then just watch his eyes. He knows he's going to Boyd. Boyd's on a streak, and this is why Boyd is not only the best receiver in the state, but I would say the best in the country. And watch that catch right at the high point. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're sitting at home, you're watching this film, that's how you do it as a receiver. You're out jumping the man, getting at the high point, bringing it down, getting to the end zone. Brock Boyd, again, best receiver in the state of Texas.
Our last 2 plays on your replay room were balls that were caught at the high point by Knowles and Boyd, as we see Phillips here again getting some good blocking up front and setting up another Carroll touchdown.
Yeah, we're talking about the Carroll offensive line here, and again, it's just inside zone. And we talked about how important it was this week, just practicing hard. Watch the move by Will Barley here, the skip pull. Watch how he stays so square through this hole. And you see Tristan Deere here collapsing his man down. Watch the eyes of Will Barley just connect to this linebacker, and then it just splits right open for Phillips. That's a clinic cut. That's a clinic tape. Terrific job by this Dragon offensive line. Again, another reason why this unit is considered, maybe one of the best in the state, maybe by the end of the season, the number 1 unit in the state of Texas.
Yeah, it's a group that's got Luke Wilson at left tackle going to Oklahoma, Tristan Derrick right tackle going to Michigan. So you got 2 Power 4 guys on the bookends. Then Kerry Clayton going to Memphis in the middle, Nathan Domraki going to Amherst at right guard. But for Will Barley, when you're an offensive lineman and you get to pull like that and the rest of your line mates take care of everyone on the line, how much fun is it to just run to that second level and look for somebody to take out?
Well, if you're sitting at home and watching that, you kind of expect that, but I can't tell you how difficult that is if you're a large human being, which us offensive linemen are. Getting us to move anywhere in space and do it at a high level is very difficult. And, you love seeing the execution. And, Will Barley's a guy that stepped in that starting role. I mentioned this at the start of the year. He's the type of guy I want to take down in a dark alley with me. He brings that attitude to the field, And, he's gotten better and better each week. And that play, executing on that is very, very difficult, especially going on the second level. So it's an art. It's a dance. I'll call it the fat kid dance.
I'm sure those running backs appreciate that back alley mentality too when they have those guys out in front of them. Well, at halftime, it is 38-3 in favor of the Dragons. Carroll scored the last 35 points of the first half. We'll take another timeout, come back with some of the first half stats on the Feed Store Barbecue halftime show in just a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey, Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, recharge with red light therapy, and fuel your body with our powerful Slim Shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Hey, Dragon fans, this is Robert Clayton with the Clayton team at Clayton Real Estate. Karen Young and I have been proudly serving Southlake for over 30 years in residential resale, family owned and operated, and former Dragons. Being a Dragon graduate, we truly understand what it means to be a Dragon. Tradition, excellence, and a winning team. That's what we provide our clients, the best service and experience in the industry with a winning tradition. Dragons representing Dragons. Call us today at 817-894-4152 or visit us on the web at www.dragonrealtors.com. Go Dragons.
Looking for a roofer who truly knows Southlake? My name is Chad Cross, owner of CLC Roofing, a longtime Southlake resident who's proud to serve this community. For decades, we have protected Dragon Country with roofs built to handle the scorching sun, sudden hail, and high winds, all while keeping your homes looking beautiful. CLC Roofing proudly supports the Carroll ISD, the Carroll Booster Club, and local events. Supporting Southlake is part of who we are. We know every HOA standard, city code, and neighborhood nuance because we live here too. When the storm hits, we're not hours away. We're already in your community, ready to help the moment you need us. Our crews are safety certified and led by project managers who always focus on details. From minor repairs to full replacements, we bring expert craftsmanship and clear communication to every project. We only install top-tier roofing materials, and as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, we can offer extended warranties most roofers cannot, because trust and quality go hand in hand. Protect the tradition, Southlake.
Southlake Dermatology offers specialized acne regimens using a combination of prescriptions and procedures that are covered by insurance. The Specialized Acne Treatment Center offers a full range of services with access to samples and rebates that are only available through a dermatologist. Our office is on the 3rd floor of the Southlake Medical Building attached to Methodist Hospital off of 114. Find us on Facebook or search our website at southlakedermatology.com.
Feed Store Barbecue halftime show continues from Northwest ISD Stadium. Carroll on top of Byron Nelson 38-3 as we take a look at some of the first half stats from our statistician tonight, Monty Clegg. For the Dragons, Angelo Renda, the quarterback, another big night so far, 15 of 18 for 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's completed his last 9 attempts. His favorite target has been Brock Boyd, 5 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. Blake Gunter has 4 for 52 and a touchdown. Brody Knowles, 4 catches, 74 yards, and Caden Mackey, 2 catches for 13 yards. On the ground for the Dragons today, Brooks Biggers leading the way, 5 carries for 32 yards. Davis Penn, 7 for 15. Harrison Phillips, 2 for 16. Renda has 1 for 5. All 3 running backs, Penn, Biggers, and Phillips, have gotten into the end zone. For Byron Nelson, the quarterback, Parker Almanza, 6 for 13 for 98 yards. 3 of those completions have been to Nolan Hawkins, the sophomore, 3 for 60 yards, 1 catch each for Brody Pride, Owen Church, and Cooper Kennemer. Byron Nelson just 3 of 8 on third downs so far tonight. Taking a look at other scores in District 4-6A this evening. There was one game last night. We told you earlier that LD Bell beat Keller Timber Creek 35-28. Everyone else in action tonight. Euless Trinity leading Keller Central 24-7. The Dragons will host the Trojans next week at Dragon Stadium. Last week's opponent for the Dragons, Hebron, is home against Lancaster. Lancaster leading that one 14-10. In District 4-6A, Northwest up on Keller 13-3. That game is at the start of the third quarter. And Eaton is the team in the district that has the week off this week. A couple other big games going on tonight. Waxahachie hosting Forney. Waxahachie up 14-7 in that one. South Oak Cliff hosting Longview, the team that Carroll matched up against in the state semifinals last year. Golden Bears and Longview tied at 10 at halftime. A couple other good ones. Flower Mound Marcus up on Richardson Pierce 31-14. That game is also at the half. And a big one for Denton Geyer. Geyer hosting North Crowley, and it's Geyer 20, North Crowley 14 at halftime. So that's a look at some of the numbers from our game in the first half and some of the scores from around the area. We'll take a break. Come back with the start of the third quarter in just a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
Looking for a place the whole family will love? Come check out Champions Club at the Mark Southlake. Conveniently located off Southlake Boulevard in Bicentennial Park, Champions Club is your local, safe, and fun destination for fitness, play, and connection. From state-of-the-art workout spaces and exciting group fitness classes to our aquatic center, indoor courts, and party rentals, there's something for everyone. Make Champions Club your home for health, recreation, and family fun. Join today and discover what it means to live like a champion. Go Dragons!
For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents. For mission-critical business litigation in Texas, business owners and executives trust Sean McCaskill and the law firm of Godwin Bowman PC. My wife Laura and I are 20-year residents of Southlake and the proud parents of 4 Dragons. I've been a dedicated volunteer in Southlake for the past 13 years, including serving 7 years on Southlake City Council. I'm the president and managing shareholder at Godwin Bowman, which was established in Dallas in 1980 to serve clients with business litigation issues all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I've been with the firm for over 20 years, and I'm board certified in civil appellate law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. Please consider me, Sean McCaskill, and the law firm of Godwin Bowman for your business litigation needs. Please visit our website at www.godwinbowman.com for more information. I promise you that we'll provide big city experience together with small town service.
Hello, Dragon fans. It's no secret, Southlake Carroll students have a long history of success. Protect the Tradition speaks to the success Carroll students have achieved in the past, both on and off the field. Games aren't won on game day. It's hours and hours of practice, working together, and trust in the process that builds confidence that leads our students to achieve extraordinary results. Like the Dragons, our team at Mills Wealth has a long history of success. We're celebrating our 25th year anniversary of helping clients make wise decisions about money. If we can help you, check us out online at millswealthadvisors.com.
For your next family get-together, church event, or corporate outing, well, leave the cooking to Feed Store Barbecue in Southlake. Feed Store has everything you need to make everyone happy, with delicious barbecue, fixings, and desserts. And the best part, they'll set it all up for you, and they'll take it away when you're done. All you have to do is eat. Call us at 817-488-1445 or online at feedstorebbq.com. Go Dragons!
Little light show going on at Northwest ISD Stadium as we welcome you back for the start of the third quarter. The LEDs going crazy Robert, I think we're going to the club here in Justin tonight.
It's bringing me back to my 2005, 2006 years. I am down at the Derby in Juarez.
Well, now they've turned the lights on. That means it's time to go home. Just kidding. It's the start of the third quarter here at Northwest ISD Stadium. All Dragons in the first half, 38-3. Carroll has allowed just 10 points so far this season and will receive the ball to begin the third quarter. Dragons forced their first turnover of the year in the first as well. That's always good to see. Granted, winning by the margins Carroll had been winning by the first two games. Not a necessity, but something you want to know that your defense has the ability to do as you start to begin district play.
100%. And I think even more crucial is I think Dodge wants to see this team come out at half. When you get the ball in the second half, you know, not to come out flat, come with energy and get the ball down the field and make a score. You know, he's trying to reflect a championship caliber mentality for this team.
Pooch kick for Byron Nelson. Marcus Browse picks it up, throws the stiff arm on the return, and returns it across the 40-yard line.
I think Marcus is showing shades of his father at Boise State. Old opponent of mine back in college out in the blue turf. Didn't win many games versus Boise State on the blue turf, but Mr. Browse was a heck of a player.
Those would have been the years when Boise was racking up the wins at home, right?
Well, I'm going to date myself. It was a little before they beat that OU team in the Fiesta Bowl, but they had just made the leap into Division I, and very hard as a transition as a school coming into Division I and performing so well and going to a bowl game right out of the gates after the first or second year. Tremendous job.
Whistles down on the field before this first snap of the third quarter. They move the ball over to the right hash. So Davis Penn in there at running back to start this half. Blake Gunter lined up off the left tackle. He motions out to the left side. Renda throws over the middle. In and out of the hands of Brock Boyd.
He had a few options there. He had Davis Penn out of the backfield, and he had Blake Gunter there in the flats off to the left. And, if Boyd gets that ball, he has a lot of room in front of him to make a big play.
See John Mark Fraga return to the game at tight end for the Dragons as Renda flips it outside to the left, and jumping through a couple of defenders is Boyd, going to be close to the first down. They are going to move the sticks. A Dragon Den first down.
Love a little run play option there. He had the inside zone with Biggers as well as wide open, but great throw to Boyd there out in the flats and letting Boyd just do what he does with the ball and get the first down.
So right across midfield, just into Byron Nelson territory. Dragons with the ball at the 49. Renda looking to pass, goes left side, caught by Knowles, and he is going to be spun out of bounds over there by Mahamadou Sibi, about a yard or two shy of the first.
Really good job by Angel Renda, just staying in the pocket, feeling a little bit of pressure. He hasn't seen a lot tonight, and then delivering a good throw in the comeback route from Brody Knowles. And again, you're seeing that target there when Brody has 1-to-1 out there. He's such a big target. He's going to go to him every time.
Bigger set now into the game for the Dragons. Power on the left side of the formation. Penn lines up on that side as well. Renda looking to throw. Lofts one down the right side, looking for Boyd. It is going to be nearly intercepted, but falls out of bounds off the hands of Rodney Weatherspoon.
Yeah, taking a chance there, just going deep there on second down. Wish they can. The Dragons just Riley loves to take a big shot. A little overthrown on that one, but a big third down coming down here, third and short.
Got to get up to the 39 to move the chains. A couple of players in motion for Carroll. Bobcats show pressure, don't bring it. They give it to Penn, picking his way through the line. Has enough for the first down, up to the 36.
Tremendous block by John Mark Frogger coming across on the split zone, coming across the offensive line from his block and picking up the defensive end as the backside collapsed. Great job by Penn on finding the first down.
So new set of downs for Carroll. Dragon Den first down. The Dragon Den is located in Dragon Stadium. It's the official store for Dragon Spirit Wear. Trips in a bunch to the right for Carroll. Penn takes a route out of the backfield to the left side. Renda completes this pass to Brody Knowles, a yard shy of the first down. They pick up 9 yards.
Again, the Renda to Knowles connection, he's really finding the mismatches with Knowles. And, Knowles has just been on fire all night tonight. Great job sitting down in his routes, getting the reception, getting upfield. That time just hunkering down and getting the ball.
Mackey motions out of the backfield for Carroll. Renda looks to him, now throws right sideline. Gunter again has it and is tackled out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Big hit delivered by Byron Nelson, but
yeah, second time we've seen this play tonight. Where you have, Caden out in the flats, Boyd streaking, and then you have really Blake finding the soft spot in between the corner and the linebackers, and great job by Blake Gunter once again.
He may have delivered a little bit of a blow to the defensive back as well as Weatherspoon down along the Byron Nelson sideline, though they've just elevated one of his legs, so hopefully just a cramp for Weatherspoon, as something we haven't talked about, but it got hot again. We had a few days of nice weather here, but now 83 degrees. The high today was 95. You get a look at that Carroll sideline. When the game started tonight, the Carroll side was just bathed in the sun. The stadium here, the field runs north to south, and the Carroll side is on the east side of the stadium, so when the sun sets, it takes all of that sunlight. First and goal for the Dragons at the 7. Brenda looks to throw again, lobs one up for Boyd. He is able to haul it in for the touchdown. Great body control by Brock Boyd to spin around the defender and bring that one in. It's 44-3 Dragons.
It was a back shoulder throw. This is the only one that, Renda and Boyd can practice. And you just watch, this is just practice. Renda just throws the back shoulder of the defensive back, only where Boyd can catch it. Great job turning around, making the play in the end zone. That's how you start the half, Chris, if you're Carroll Dragons. You don't come out flat. You come out championship mentality. You put it in the end zone.
Dragon touchdowns are sponsored by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. Strange on for the point after. It is good. Extra points presented by CLC Roofing this season. So Carroll gets the ball first in the second half, marches down the field, and scores a touchdown to make it 45-3 with 9 minutes and 22 seconds left in the third quarter on the Dragon Sports Network.
This is John McKellar from White's Chapel in Southlake. This is one of my favorite times of the year because football is back. The Dragons are all about tradition, and White's Chapel is no different. For over 150 years, White's Chapel has been at the heart of this community. We're a church that preaches a message of grace and love. We'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
This one is returnable for Byron Nelson as It is taken from just near the goal line, out shy of the 20-yard line for Byron Nelson by Cooper Kennemer, the senior running back. And let's keep an eye on the quarterback spot for Byron Nelson, as it does look like Parker Almanza is in the huddle, or he's kind of hovering near the sidelines.
I think regardless, you've got to get Almanza in the game. He's that dynamic of a player. He's one of your best players. Get him out there in the slot or do something. I mean, I don't know. Sure, I would leave him on the sidelines unless he's hurt, unless there's something wrong.
Could be banged up. See an embrace over there of Almanza with one of his linemen. But it is the senior Charlie Medrano in at quarterback, and he will throw on first down right on the running back Maycong, but it's dropped and incomplete.
Yeah, it's a tough position with any quarterback coming in this type of situation. You're down 45-3. You're getting your first look at the end of the game, start of the second quarter. And not say there's pressure on you, but you're playing behind the sticks, and it's a difficult job to come in and try to put some type of points on the board.
So 2nd and 10. Medrano hands to Maycong, and he is hit in the backfield and stopped. Robbie Ladd knifing through along with Jake Lucky for the Dragons.
Terrific job. You're talking about picking up where you left off in the first half. This Dragon defensive line and linebacking core has just been so powerful. Even Browse getting in there and making the play as well. Just a terrific job by Coach Munn in getting these guys prepared week in, week out, and getting them up and not in that coming out of the halftime.
3 down front for Carroll here. Empty backfield for Byron Nelson. Medrano completes this one to Nolan Hawkins, who is upended by the Dragons. It is Taven Coons on the big hit that'll stop him well shy of the chains.
Great job by Coons, just coming and making a hit. And again, we've talked about Nolan Hawkins. He's the best player for this Byron Nelson team. A great play in open space.
And just like he was not in there at quarterback, Almanza also not in there to punt. Just like on that final punt of the first half, it'll be Jet Jocelyn, a senior, to kick it away for Byron Nelson. Parker Harris back to receive for the Dragons. Flag comes out. Short kick that bounces shy of the 45-yard line. Dragons trying to get away from it, and they do. And some pushing and shoving away from the play. There is a flag right at the line of scrimmage. Ball came to a stop at the Bobcats 48. So another penalty on Byron Nelson. It'll be added to the end of the play. So field position for Carroll will get even better here on their second possession of the third.
The execution on special teams has really intrigued me tonight. I think if Byron comes away from this game, amongst the other things that they're going to have to work on, is just the special teams. You can't give teams short fields consistently throughout the game, whether it's on a kickoff or a punt. You've got to win that battle, or at least be short up in that. It's a big part of the game.
The first team offense for the Dragons still out there on the field. Empty backfield for Renda here. Ball moved up to the 43 of Byron Nelson. Renda looking to throw. Gets one away to Gunter across the 40. Spins out of a tackle, but is held up long enough for some more black jerseys to get there and take him down. Gets down to the 37-yard line. Picks up about 5.
Yeah, sometimes you don't really see it from Blake Gunter, but I had a chance to see him at the volleyball game this week, and he's just a big, strong young man, and there's a reason why he makes terrific catches and gets the extra yardage. He's just a solid player.
So Renda will keep it on the ground. Falling forward to the 35-yard line for Carroll is Biggers. It'll be 3rd and short. Grayson Tracer on the stop on that play for Byron Nelson. 3rd and 2, they've got to get to the 33. Gunter comes off the hip of the right tackle. Renda gives to Biggers again, diving forward. This one's going to be close. It'll depend on the spot. And they are going to go ahead and move the chains. Another first down brought to you by the Dragon Den.
You see the first group coming back in, for a second drive, leaning on the offensive line, keeping the runs up the middle, getting those first downs. And again, this is just more of getting more experience for this group as the year goes on.
Jacquemart in there, slot left rather for the Dragons. They get it to Gunter in space in the flat. Great blocking outside by his receivers. He gets outside and is pushed out of bounds at about the 25.
You love to see the sacrifice of just the receivers, for your teammate.
There's going to be a penalty.
Correct myself as we get a holding call.
Still the effort that you're talking about on the outside.
It is the effort. It's a sacrifice for yourself, for another. So maybe sacrifice a little too much on that play.
How would that argument go over for the coaches? I was just over-sacrificed a little bit when you come back to the sideline. Trips right, keep it on the ground. Biggers, big hole up the middle. Runs into a defender at the 31-yard line, but the C's parted for Brooks Biggers on that carry.
Yeah, it looks like the Red Sea here. This offensive line is just creating huge holes for the running back all game, and it starts right there at the interior. Kerry Clayton, Nathan Domrocki, tremendous job.
Biggers gets it again across the 30. Battling for yardage up to the 26. And creates another 3rd and short situation for Carroll. So they are letting Biggers carry some of the load here in the 3rd quarter.
I like the rotation of the running backs. You're getting Phillips, you're getting Biggers in, but you're also getting Penn in. You're not putting too much on Penn's shoulders. You understand this is a long year, but you're getting the necessary reps to get more comfortable in the mentality part of it as well.
Gunter motions out to the left side. Renda this time pulls it out of the belly of Biggers, slides across the 20-yard line to move the sticks for a Dragon Den first down.
It's the second time we've seen Renda tonight just keep the ball, make a great read, and go off the edge. That's something that utilizing his speed. He again is probably the fastest guy on this field right now. He's a high 4.4 guy, low 4.5 runner. I tell you what, he's just an athlete. You get him open space, he's dangerous.
So 1st and 10 for Carroll. They've also done a tremendous job eating clock on this drive. Renda will throw here on first down, goes over the middle for Knowles, incomplete into some traffic, and Brody couldn't haul it in.
It was good protection, and again, we've seen Renda, a nice little ball fake, getting there into Knowles. They've been quite a connection tonight, and it's really just a great defensive play by Byron Nelson, sticking a hand in there.
About a 4-minute drive here for the Dragons. They took over with 7:43 on the clock, now down to 3:51. Renda will look to throw again. Pumps, sidesteps some pressure, gets it out into the flat. This is Biggers again across the 20, 15, and steps out of bounds at the 7-yard line. So Biggers has been the primary ball carrier on this drive for Carroll, and he's looked good.
Well, you love seeing it. Biggers out in the flat there. You had Blake Gunter there trailing him, almost like a pulling lineman there, leading the way for him. A tremendous block on the edge to spring Biggers. And Biggers, with his athleticism, just gets upfield, gets the first down.
1st and goal, ball at the 7. Trips to the right, Knowles all alone on the left side. Not really a safety over there to help. See if that's a spot they look to go. Renda gives it to Biggers instead. Runs into that line, still fighting for yardage. Getting awfully close to the goal line. The offensive linemen think it's a touchdown. The referees disagree. They'll spot it at the 1.
You hurry up, get them on their toes. You're pushing them around up front. And while you have them on their heels, let's get them to the end zone.
Give it to Biggers again. This time he is stopped in the backfield. And maybe lose a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 2. They're going to run Fraga back into the game at tight end. Luke Jacomard heads to the sideline. Biggers in the backfield, 3 receivers left, tight end to the right side of the formation. Renda takes the low snap, gets it to Biggers, who finds the end zone for the touchdown. Good poise by Renda there, not to panic on the snap. Got rid of it cleanly to Biggers, who finds the end zone for the 2nd time tonight. And Carroll goes up 51-3.
We talk about this offensive line, and yes, great job by Renda getting the snap up. And then, you see Nathan Domraki pulling, sealing that edge with Luke Wilson, and Biggers finding the end zone. This offensive line of Southlake Carroll has been impressive the first 2 drives of the second half, putting points on the board.
CLC Roofing extra point is good by Gavin Strange. All touchdowns tonight and all season, sponsored by Kim Bedwell Luxury Real Estate. So with 2:38 to go before the end of the 3rd quarter, after about a 5-minute drive for the Dragons, they lead at 52-3 over Byron Nelson on the Dragon Sports Network.
Are you considering buying or selling your home in Southlake? I'm Kim Bedwell with Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty, and I would love to assist you. Recognized as one of the top professionals in Southlake by both industry peers and clients, I am a proud mother of 2 dragons and have been a resident of this amazing community for over 20 years. I know Southlake inside and out, and I am committed to ensuring your real estate journey is seamless and successful. You can find me at kimbedwell.com. Kim Bedwell Real Estate, delivering the highest level of experience and results in Southlake and beyond. Go Dragons!
Hey everyone, this is Michael Baum, General Manager at Hearst and Louisville Autoplex. We are longtime supporters of all things Dragons. This season, if you want to show up to the game in style, come see me or Brees Higgins, where we have the largest selection of late model, high-end, pre-owned trucks and SUVs. As a family-owned and operated dealership, we'll treat you like part of our family. Come see us on either side of the Metroplex and get a new ride today. Shop us online 24/7 at HurstAutoplex.com. Go Dragons!
This one returnable but fair caught by Byron Nelson. After Carroll goes up 52-3. Brooks Biggers finding the end zone for the 2nd time today. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns now on the season. A great drive by the Dragons. 12 plays to go just 37 yards, and they managed to make it take 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to see. I think we talk about Riley and putting that question in front of the offensive line this week, saying, we've got to develop, we've got to maintain these drives, and we've got to come out fast. He knows that these big guys up front are going to be the relying on this team down the road, with another big game coming up next week versus a very tremendous and powerful physical team in Trinity.
Madrano over the middle, incomplete, intended for Owen Church. It's a Trinity team that always has a bunch of size, and Dragons and Trojans played a great game last year. Carroll came out on top 56-48. It was back and forth all throughout the second half. Madrano this time going to keep it himself and is upended right at the line of scrimmage. What a hit laid on him there by this Carroll defense. Coming up to make the stop for the Dragons, Trent Fergal.
Great job by Trent Fergal. He was that special teams player of the week last week. He's the guy, he's a sophomore, tremendous talent. A great job coming up and making the hit and making the play.
Empty backfield here on 3rd down.
you gotta love to see. You have Slavin in the linebacking core, and also DeMarcus Ware Jr., number 41.
Timeout called here on the field. We will take it as well. All of our timeouts this season brought to you by Dragon Special Olympics. 2 minutes to go in the third. It's 52-3 Carroll on the Dragon Sports Network.
Recoat Revolution, your one-day floor solution. I'm Joe Worrell, Southlake resident, Air Force veteran, and proud father of 2 dragons. Our one-day sandless, dustless process refreshes flooring without the mess, smell, and expense of traditional refinishing. If your floors have damage, wear from furniture, or even little dragon talons, we can tackle those issues to have you back in a clean home that night. Sandless, dustless, odorless, done by dinner. Recoat Revolution. Go Dragons!
Carroll a 49-point lead on Byron Nelson, tied for its largest margin of the season after a 49-0 win against Midland in week 1. It's 3rd and long for the Bobcats. Medrano in at quarterback, 3 receivers to the left side. He will look to throw, pushed out of the pocket to the right. He's going to loft one down the right sideline, looking for Hawkins. It is batted away. Good coverage by the Dragons. Running step for step with the receiver for Carroll was Hez Rodriguez. But a flag in on the back end of the play.
Desmond Tahalo, a little more action after the play, after the throw, getting the hit, and that's something that Coach Dodge is going to send him down and say, hey, as we get experience in here, those are things you can't do. You got to let it go. But before that, great job by the Dragon D-line. Played a little games up front, forcing the quarterback out of the pocket. You just can't have the unnecessary penalties there at the end.
Nate Martin in on that offensive line now, along with Caden Hodges on the right side. Sam Erickson in at one of the defensive tackle spots as well. And Kyle DeRoss in there at that left end spot. They keep it on the ground here and driven back, and a big hit finished off. Big team tackle there by the Dragons as Weston Duffy in on the hit for Carroll.
Big hit with Caden Hodges as well. You love to see the second group come in here and play against this first offense, minus the quarterback. And really, the only thing that stopped them has been the penalties. Great effort all around by this defensive unit, flying to the football.
And they're at linebacker now for Carroll, Ace Slavin and DeMarcus Ware Jr. Cornerbacks Hez Rodriguez along with Landon Harris. On second down, Medrano throws deep down the left side, again looking for Hawkins and overthrew him. Hawkins had a step on the defender, but just could not haul it in, and it will be 3rd and long.
We talk about these linebackers. Ace Slavin, he's a sophomore, a real athletic kid. Had the opportunity to coach him on his Dragon Youth football team almost, I believe, going on 4 years ago. And he was a tremendous athlete, played linebacker, played running back, kind of did everything on the team. And he's really fit in that role very, very well. Then you have DeMarcus Ware Jr., who's only a freshman. So we talk about getting depth in this back end, this middle unit for this Dragon defense. Very bright future.
So they set up the screen pass, overthrown, intended for McCavian Hill, number 35, the junior running back. But Medrano had too much pressure to set it up and let it develop.
What a job by this unit coming in and, really planting their flag and saying, there's not going to be a drop-off. And that's what you want to see from Coach Munn is, you're only giving up 3 points. You got to have the trust. Your second unit goes in there. Can they make the stops? And, they really did. The only best play the Bobcats had was a penalty.
Good punt this time for Byron Nelson. Fair caught by Parker Harris at the 20-yard line with 51 seconds to go in the third quarter. Second team defense performing very well for the Dragons there. Lee Munn, watching Carroll practice, that defense practices with intensity, and it all stems from the DC.
A regime change up front for the O-line. You have 55 Carlos Galindo at left tackle. You have Johnson at left guard, 68 Christian Gonzalez, 59, 66 Robbie Collins at right guard, and 75 Nick Wilson at right tackle.
And at quarterback for the Dragons now, Preston Perazzo, and big hit delivered outside on Cade Holstrom, who bounces right up after making the catch.
What a catch by Holstrom. We've talked about Perazzo, what he does in the pocket, and Coach Dodge has talked about him as a backup quarterback, being a senior, but he's a great game manager. He can make all the throws. He knows the offense. And when he gets in there, he makes plays, and it's almost like nowhere picks off. It picks up right where it leaves off with this Dragon offense.
Carroll does not have to snap the ball again in this quarter. See if they do, letting the clock run down to 7. And it looks like the Dragons are going ahead and let this one head to the fourth quarter. So Carroll continues to dominate on both sides of the ball tonight, leading Byron Nelson at 52-3 in the district opener. Fourth quarter coming up next on the Dragons Sports Network.
The Dragon Den is your home for the best selection of Dragon fan gear in town. We offer many styles and sizes, and we're your Dragon hat headquarters. 100% of your purchase supports our student athletes and UIL sports grades 7 through 12. We're open weekly during all home football games and most Tuesdays and Fridays 11 to 2. We're everything Dragon. Interested in volunteering with us? We need adult and high school volunteers to work during hours we are open. That's the Dragon Den at Dragon Stadium. Go Dragons!
Start of the fourth quarter at Northwest ISD Stadium. Southlake Carroll and Trophy Club Byron Nelson. The District 4-6A opener. Carroll up 52-3. They switch sides. Second team offense out there for the Dragons. Quarterback Preston Perazzo. Running back alongside him is Emerson Zadie. Luke Jacquemard, Rafael Otoya, and Cade Holstrom out there at receiver as Perazzo keeps it on the ground himself, stays inbounds, crossing the 25-yard line up to the 28.
And this is a group that came in that Midland game after the delays. I think we're talking maybe 11 o'clock at night. They finally got the opportunity to give them the game. And Zadie was the running back, really turned it on. You saw the explosion and the speed. When he hit out of the backfield, a lot of excitement for the second group.
Yeah, Zadie had 5 carries for 35 yards in that game against the Bulldogs to open the season. On third and short, Perazzo will throw. He's going to tuck it himself and run across the 30, still running across the 40, and finally dragged down at the 44-yard line. A Dragon Den first down and then some for the senior quarterback.
A little bit low over snap, but watch the poise of Perazzo just getting the ball. He knows, hey, check downs are not there. I'm just going to go ahead and run it. There's a free opening. And great job in awareness by your quarterback on not only picking up the first down, but getting the extra yardage and showing the toughness.
Rico Revolution presents our replays this season. First down for Carroll. Perazzo gives to Zadie, who's spun around. Picked up a yard to the 45.
A good run getting behind Robbie Collins, the right guard, and right tackle Nick Wilson. You talk about Zadie, he has that burst. You're going to see it more and more as the second unit is on the field for the fourth quarter.
Well, this is a Byron Nelson team that last year finished third in the district at 6-2 in district play, reached the playoffs but lost in the first round to North Crowley. And now that district play has started, will be interesting to see how things shape up in 4-6A as Zadie gets it running close to midfield before he's brought down.
Good job by Zadie just getting by big Nick Wilson. Nick Wilson stands about, probably all about 6'5", 285 pounds, an athletic guy, a guy that would probably be in the starting lineup. Just that the Carroll offense is so deep, and these backups, there's probably 3 or 4 that could be a starter anywhere else in this district. They've got a lot of depth on that offensive line.
The Dragons facing another third down. Perazzo looking to throw. Going to take a shot down the right side. Has a step and can't haul it in for Luke Jackamar.
Jackamar had to just slip through his hands. Terrific protection by the Carroll offensive line. It is 5-on-5, and great throw by Perazzo. And I know Jackamar is going to want this one back right through his hands and would have been for a touchdown.
Jackamar, sure-handed receiver, had 19 catches, 2 touchdowns a year ago. It's a good sign to see for Carroll. On to punt is Zach Hayes. High snap, he's able to bring it down and get the kick away. Spiraling kick that bounces at the 6-yard line and into the end zone. But good to see that Hayes is healthy enough to get out there and punt. There is a player down for Byron Nelson after that kick. And while we know Carroll doesn't often punt in the regular season, however, having a weapon like Hayes in that spot come playoff time can be huge.
Oh, number one, he's going to be a Division I punter at Louisiana Tech. And, not what he can do is flip the field, something that we've seen tonight be a detriment to Byron. And when you have that ability, it is a weapon, especially, you're talking those playoff games where reversing the field was a huge thing. It came in the factor last year, in the semifinals game where, you had to control. It was about field position, and it was a brilliant call by Riley, just milking time off the clock and forcing them to drive the length of the field. I mean, those things are big things, and that's what Riley's focused on is trying to make these complete teams.
Carroll played a lot of close games in the playoff last year, really from the second round on. 7-point win against Friendship, a 5-point win over Hebron, an 11-point win over Geyer, 3 points over Longview. So all of those games leading up to the state championship game, and that was a close game too. Carroll just came out on the wrong side of it. But after that first round, everything was within 11 points the rest of the way. So under 9 minutes to go, Byron Nelson ball. Medrano flips it out to his running back out of the backfield. Brought down by several Dragon tacklers.
Great pursuit by Sam Erickson, their number 90, the defensive lineman, coming out and finding the ball carrier and getting to him, slipping through 2 would-be tacklers. Great job in pursuit.
This is a running back for Byron Nelson, and number 35, McCavian Hill, a junior, ran track at the Junior Olympics. So a guy with a lot of speed being chased down by a defensive end. Medrano looking for Hill again, gets behind the defense across the 40, midfield 45, switches direction. We said he had track speed inside the 20 and forced out of bounds there. So Hill showing off that speed with the run after the catch.
He does have the speed. He finds a soft spot there in the defense behind the linebacker. And then you get with that type of speed in the open field, it is difficult to cover. And he shows his track speed there, Chris.
60 yards on the catch and run for McCavian Hill. Byron Nelson trying to get into the end zone for the first time tonight. Dragon defense would love to force them to try another field goal. Hill, again, this time going to lose 3 yards back to the 16.
A big hit by A. Slavin. Great job coming up and making the hit in the hole, stopping the ball carrier. He's the guy we talked about, the sophomore there at linebacker. You know, he's that field general for that linebacking group as a second team. Tremendous job making the play.
So 2nd and long. They've got to get to about the 3.5 yard line for a first down. Tight set here with 3 receivers to the right. Medrano under pressure. He's going to be hit in the backfield and brought down for the sack. They're going to say he wasn't down. He throws up a prayer to the end zone, and it's broken up. But the Dragon defensive line thought Medrano was down. Dragon coaching staff can't believe it either. Only thing I can think of is maybe Medrano rolled over top of the body of one of these linemen.
Let's take a look at that. That's bizarre. I thought he was down as well, Chris.
You see the Recoat Revolution replay here. I don't think Medrano ever had a knee or an elbow hit the ground. He was on top of the defender and got back to his feet.
Well, this is a learning opportunity for this Dragon defense. You got to finish the play.
Unusual of a play as you'll see. And then good job on the back end by the secondary to get in there and make sure it fell to the turf. That was Weston Duffy breaking it up in the back of the end zone. Third and 13. Play clock still hasn't started. Now it does. We'll see if the Bobcats take another shot here. Church goes in motion. Medrano has a little time, fires to the left corner of the end zone. It is incomplete, intended for Church. In coverage for the Dragons was the senior safety, Luke McCauley.
Great job by Luke McCauley. You saw Church, came in motion and got around that back end. Great job staying with them. And McCauley almost got his head taken off. Great job just in pursuit and just being there in the right spot at the right time. Tremendous job, Luke.
Well, down 49 points. Byron Nelson is going to go for it here on 4th down and 13. 6.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Empty backfield for Medrano. Look to throw again under heavy pressure. Fires one up. It is incomplete. Intended for Church again. This time in coverage, it was Trent Fergal.
Fergal, another one of those sophomores. Huge play for this Dragon defense. Just securing only that 3 points they've given up all night. And Fergal, watch him on the coverage. Step first step. Does a great job on just getting his hands in the air and getting the ball down, saving a would-be touchdown.
Replay brought to you by Recoat Revolution. And even up 52-3, how big is it for the defense to make sure the Bobcats don't find the end zone tonight?
Well, I think with anything, you probably have goals and objectives this defense is trying to accomplish. They're going to be one of the premier units in the area and even the state. And you always want to see this, with your second unit coming in. And that just gets everyone hyped up and fired up that they come in and it means something to them just as much as does the first team.
Zadie on 1st down, picking up 4 yards to the 20-yard line. This is the Byron Nelson team that 1-1 on the year. As they give it to Zadie again. Big hole up the middle across the 30. That'll move the sticks for a Dragon Den first down. But a Byron Nelson team that graduated a lot after last season. Quarterback Grant Bizjack threw for 29 touchdowns a year ago. They lost running back Tucker James. A few receivers who were 2-year starters in Leo Almanza and Ezra Malamura. On the defensive side, lose a guy like linebacker Jacobin Julian. So it's a lot of seniors starting, but a lot of seniors who don't have a lot of varsity starts under their belt.
Yeah, so it's that, Chris, and also obviously what continue to grow and develop the program. Going through a tragedy like they did, with losing Coach Pride is difficult, and I'm not certain this team was really football was the biggest thing on their mind.
Right.
Maybe 2 months ago, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. Colt Pride, the senior linebacker, the son of Travis Pride, who passed, he finally had to sit down with the team, in offseason and say, guys, you've got to let this go. Coach would want us to go out and train and compete. We have a game, 10 weeks away. We've got to get it going. And, Coach Woodard said that kind of lifted the spirits of the team and said, all right, let's get it back going. We've got a mission. We got a goal. We have a season. And I think those are the small victories that you see as a program turning that can unite each other. And, Colt Pride and the Pride brothers very easily could have made it about them and said, hey, we can't do this, or we're not into this. But to be able to turn that over to the team and get the team ready to go, they're going to go through some growing pains. But I'll tell you what, they're dealing with a lot right now. Just not only the team, but the community as well.
This one completed for Carroll to Holdenstrom. Brings up second down and about 4. Byron Nelson beat Friendship at a neutral site in Abilene in the first week of the season, 30-7. Lost at Louisville last week, 38-21. And just like last season, kind of the 3 teams that you would think would be near the top of the district all play each other in the first 2 weeks of district play.
Right.
Byron Nelson takes on Trinity a week after Carroll plays Trinity.
And I think that's what they look at. I mean, for so many years, you look at who's going to be that 4th place team. And I think that's something that's up for grabs this year. We would assume that Byron is going to continue to do well. They're probably going to fit in that 2nd or 3rd spot, most likely, given Dragons take care of business next week. So, that 4th spot is a coveted spot, and there's going to be a lot of people fighting for that spot in the district. You saw a team last night. It was the LD Bell in Timberview, or Timber Creek, went down to the wire. So a lot of competition.
Now Palmer Penson, the junior, into the game at quarterback, gives to Zadie. Plowing up the middle for a first down, brought to you by the Dragon Den up to the 46-yard line.
Chris, I love the way Zadie runs. He runs so hard, gets behind his pads, and he just has that burst of the line. And you're seeing, not only the second line, but some of the third team guys are in as well right now for this offensive line. They're doing a tremendous job.
Yeah, right tackle now, Bolu Onanuga in there for the Dragons. Jacob Bobrowski in at tight end as well for Carroll. Penson going to keep it across the 45-yard line. This should take us to the 2-minute timeout of the second half. And the Dragon offense will head over to the sideline as we do hit that 2-minute timeout in half number 2 here in Justin. All Carroll tonight. Dragons on top of the Bobcats 52-3. We'll come back and wrap this one up in the 4th quarter after this on the Dragons Sports Network.
Hey, you Dragon fans, it's Julie Walter with the Baker Firm, Fidelity National Title in Southlake. I have some great news for all you homeowners. With school and football in full swing, this season will still be a great time to buy, sell, or refinance your home. At the start of football season, we will still see families moving into the Southlake area. Call your friends at the Baker Firm to get more information, and I promise you we will provide a smooth closing from beginning to end for your Dragon family. With our real estate attorney, Chris Baker, on hand 24/7, you will be sure to score a touchdown closing in our office. Protect the tradition with the Baker Firm.
(52-3), Carroll, 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They get the most out of their LED lights here at Northwest ISD Stadium.
They do. It is a rock star show, and hoping this comes to Carroll. They did this right now in the Carroll basketball gym. They put new lights in like this, where it's very a rock star vibe. It's a great atmosphere, and hopefully soon to the Dragon Stadium.
Pensum throwing on second down. It is hauled in by Holmstrom once again, who is having a nice second half for Carroll at that receiver spot. Pensum will throw again. This time they get it out into the flat. Bobrovsky, the tight end, across the 30. Big hit there, but he's got the first down, brought to you by the Dragon Den.
Great job by Bobrovsky. And this guy's played a lot of football for the Dragons. He was the key guy last year on the state run as well as a tight end. Great job, just a big athletic move there in the flats, getting upfield and getting north and getting the first down.
Talking about these first downs brought to you by the Dragon Den. Next week against the Trojans is a green out at Dragon Stadium. If you need anything new, anything fresh for that green out, great place to go get it is the Dragon Den. Want to make sure the home side is full and green next week. They hand it to Zadie up the middle. He's pushed back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
And Dragon fans listening at home, this is the biggest regular season game probably the Dragons are going to face. So the hometown crowd has got to be a big influence. Last year over at HEB Stadium, you know, it was almost, we thought it was over at half with the Dragons, and then the Trojans made a huge run in the second half. And I tell you, it was a coin flip on who had the ball last. So if you can get there, be loud, be proud, wear your green, make some noise against the Trojans.
Dragons may snap it for the final time here. Zadie running over a defender and finally brought down about a yard short of the first down. But that should do it here tonight in Justin. Carroll coming away with a district opening win, 52-3 over Byron Nelson. So for the Dragons, they go to 1-0 in district play, 3-0 overall, getting the big win over Byron Nelson here at the site and with the opponent of their only district loss under Riley Dodge. The teams will shake hands here at the 50-yard line. Certainly going to be an emotional moment, I'm sure, for some of the coaches as they shake hands after the game. And some of the players who know each other well, living in close proximity to each other as well. We'll take a quick 2-minute timeout, come back to Northwest ISD Stadium, and wrap things up in just a moment on the Dragon Sports Network.
Hey, Dragons, athletes, fans, and champions of all kinds. I'm Dr. Isabel Lopez at Life's Medicine, and my team and I are here to help you feel, recover, and perform at your absolute best. From guided weight loss to hormone balance, we create a personalized game plan for peak health. Boost your recovery with cryotherapy, Recharge with red light therapy and fuel your body with our powerful Slim Shots. Don't just cheer from the sidelines. Step into your own strongest and healthiest self. Visit us and let's build your winning season, both on and off the field, at Life's Medicine, where health meets performance. Go Dragons!
Feed Store Barbecue on Whitechapel Boulevard in Southlake's been serving up great food to Dragon fans for over 20 years. Chopped brisket, pulled pork, and their signature ribs are just some of the reasons that people in Dragon Nation love Feed Store Barbecue. Call-in orders are welcome. They'd be happy to bring it out to your car if you want them to, or your truck. Order online at feedstorebbq.com and go Dragons.
You can trust your medical care at Southlake Dermatology. We have over 65 years of experience between Dr. Bowers, Dr. Tynard, and our 4 physician assistants. We treat a wide range of medical, surgical, and cosmetic concerns ranging from skin cancer, hair loss, rashes, increased sweating, and anti-aging. There are multiple new options for hair loss, such as Nutrafol supplements and PRP injections. View our services online at southlakedermatology.com.
This is Pastors John and Todd from White's Chapel in Southlake. White's Chapel is a church where it's all about Jesus. We're a place where real people make genuine connections, where it's okay not to be okay.
We're a church where grace is a lifestyle and where everyone has a place. From the lifelong believer to the unchurched or de-churched, we're here for you, and we'd like to invite you to join us for worship this weekend. Go Dragons!
There you see the Dragons after a 52-3 win over the Byron Nelson Bobcats on the road at Northwest ISD Stadium in Justin tonight. Chris Blake along with Robert Clayton with you, wrapping things up here on a Friday evening, a warm Friday evening.
Very warm.
In North Texas. Some of the numbers from tonight's game quickly for Carroll. The quarterback, Angelo Renda, 22 of 28 for 298 yards, 3 touchdowns. And the 3 big receivers for the Dragons all posting good numbers. Brock Boyd, 7 for 98 yards and a score. Blake Gunter, 6 for 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brody Knowles, 9 for 92 yards for the Dragons. On the ground, the leading rusher was Brooks Biggers, 11 carries for 50 yards, 2 scores. Davis Penn had 8 carries for 20 yards and a touchdown. Harrison Phillips, 2 for 16 and a score. Emerson Zadie, 7 carries for 30 yards. But Robert, overall just a dominating performance by the Dragons. Even late in the second half, the defense bending but not breaking as the Bobcats got into the red zone. Carroll keeping them out of the end zone tonight, allowing just 3 points. This Dragon defense has now allowed just 10 points all year.
Yeah, the opportunity starting the game was really up front. Both sides of the ball. Byron's offensive line and defensive line, probably not as strong as it's been in years past. We knew that was going to be a point of contention for the Dragons to get after it and impose their will. Then I think as the game progressed, you saw, bad field position, plays by Byron, and you're giving Southlake, short fields. That's something they're going to have to correct over the course of the season. Especially as you get down the road, you're playing the Trinities and other teams, the Kellers that, are going to be dogfights and Eaton, and, you've got to be sound all aspects of the game. And they're playing a Carroll team that's, they're just not playing for a district championship. They want to play in the state championship again. And that's what they're trying to build towards as a team. So, tough night for Byron, but a lot to work on.
There you see head coach Riley Dodge, fresh off win number 96 in his career, and started to talk about it briefly at the end of the fourth quarter. But Carroll's got a big one at home next week, hosting Trinity. And he talked about how the first half last year was all Carroll. Reminded me that was the game when Riley Dodge tried, 3 onside kicks in the first half against the Trojans?
Yep.
And Carroll recovered, I believe, 2 of them and went on to build a big first half lead. But it's a Trinity team that's always dangerous, and anytime Carroll and Trinity get together, it's a big deal.
100%. I mean, that rivalry goes back in the playoffs in old Texas Stadium, where that they met in the playoffs And they're perennial powers. You you look at Trinity, they're a blue blood. When we talk about DFW football, they are a tremendous program, and so it is going to be a heavyweight matchup with a lot on the line next week.
All right, we will look forward to bringing you that one next week from Dragon Stadium at 7 o'clock. We will begin our broadcast with the pregame show starting at 6:30. So tonight, for our statistician Monty Clegg, for our director Tim Polster, and for Robert Clayton, Chris Blake saying goodnight from Justin, where Carroll beats Byron Nelson 52-3 on the Dragon Sports Network.
This week's Dragon football broadcast has been brought to you by White's Chapel United Methodist Church, Feed Store Barbecue, Kim Bedwell Briggs Freeman Sotheby's, Godwin Bowman PC, The Baker Firm Fidelity National Title, Recoat Revolution, The Mark Southlake, Life's Medicine, Clayton & Clayton Real Estate, Hearst Autoplex, Southlake Dermatology, CLC Roofing, Patriot Mobile, The Dragon Den, and Mills Wealth Management. Thanks for joining us, and go Dragons.